2, 1, go.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Technocrat Live. I'm Matt Newhall, and here is Matt Santarpia and Mike Monday of the Everyday Nonsense Podcast. And these guys are great. You guys are really funny, and you have the gift of gab. You've got great voices, and you've got a great presence.
You are too kind.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
I really wanted to have you on my show because
this is a big honor for us.
This way I could actually look funny for at least a couple of hours during my.
Right. Well, there's a few things in life, and I think you would agree, Mike, that we really
take notes.
Go ahead. We realize how special they are, right?
Right, like the birth of
our
us.
Kids,
Right.
The meeting of our spouses, our wives, and being on this podcast.
Being on
when
the
they met each other,
Technocrat.
or when you met them.
And being on this podcast is really exciting.
Technocrat is right there.
Yeah, it's up there.
Right
It's
there.
up there.
Yeah.
Close.
When the wives meet is also pretty important. I found out.
True.
First
That's
impressions.
true.
No, that's a big deal. We've been friends for so long that's definitely a big deal, right?
Right.
Now, Mike and I have known each other for over 20 years, and we've known each other almost 20 years. And
Almost
you know
20 years.
my wife because you are, best friends with my brother-in-law.
Right.
You know my wife over 20 years.
Who I
longer
invited
than
to be here, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on, right? Wasn't Brad on?
Yeah, Brad Dillon, if you missed that.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Check it out. He and I could not stop laughing.
Well, I mean, you know
in the
each other
beginning of
how many years?
Yeah. I mean, he was playing, he lied. He really was playing hangman with himself.
Right.
Like, for the first 20 minutes.
I hope that's not an indication of how things are expected to go.
Well, he insisted that he wasn't doing that when we went live, and I'm like, you were playing hangman
Yeah,
with
well,
yourself. I
that
totally
sums it
saw
up. Well, I
wonder who won.
We want to thank Steve, our engineer, though.
Steve.
Yeah, very nice. You can't see him.
what,
Let me-
Steve?
There you go, Steve.
He makes us look very good.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we hear anyway.
Oh, the voice.
And he can actually outshout us when he needs us to shut
No,
the
he's
hell
good.
up.
It's nice to have an engineer. Let me tell you. It's nice. A professional.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun for us, man. We appreciate you having us on. It's cool.
Yeah, this is part of a live show is you absolutely have to have an engineer. Like, I could do the stuff that Steve's doing. I don't know if I could do it as well. Not trying to brag or
How
anything.
could you talk and then do everything?
Yeah,
and
you
then
can't.
You can't.
You can't.
The levels, the lights.
Yeah, I mean, you maybe could do some
it's a
of it.
lot.
The plants,
Right,
right?
the
They need to be watered
plant.
periodically.
Yeah.
He's going over the spritzer while we're here.
Right. He does it all. He's painting. I saw him doing some light spackling when we walked
right.
in.
This brick wall's
You're
brand
very
new.
good. He's
Right.
very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
He's a one-stop shop, that's Steve.
Big
Way to
Steve.
be.
All right. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask him. That's how we do things here. So if there's like,
We can ask who?
Steve.
We can ask Steve?
You can ask Steve if we need a fact check.
Oh, right. You mentioned that.
Oh,
Yeah,
fact check. See, that's
fact
the one thing about our show that we have a disclaimer almost every show that
Right.
we do not fact check, and
Right.
we will say things, and
Right.
they might not be true,
I
and you
have
need
a
to accept
check.
that if you're going to listen to
Well,
it.
I have a check.
It's funny because this is like, so I'm come from the sysadmin world, and everything is all about credibility, right? So I'm just super
Wait,
used
what
to
world are
being
you
What
from? I'm
world is
sorry.
from?
the sysadmin world, the computer.
the
system
administration.
The system administration, where you're literally responsible for 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 computers, and people's payroll and whatever the business strategy is. You literally can see this data.
Yeah, you
Because
cannot
they often ask you to fix it.
operate today. Am I right? Without a computer.
You
I mean, a
can't.
company
No way.
can't do anything.
A person can't
Yeah,
operate
you
without
can't
one.
Imagine not having your phone.
You're singing my song.
Right? No, it's true. And if memory serves me correctly, weren't you in charge of a huge hospital system administration or school system?
So I've worked at multiple universities, and I mean, the stuff that you have to
Right.
fix. I mean, sometimes it's just, especially if it's an emergency. It's just okay, you're on.
So he's the reason we got that F. I knew it. It's the IT guy.
Yeah, he's like
I
in war
knew it.
games,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Would you like to
Right.
play a game?
Yeah, I mean, this is the life of the technocrat. You have all these. So like I got used to this idea that my credibility. I like being silly.
Sure.
I'm friends with Brad.
Yeah, right. You're friends with silly people.
I'm friends with silly people, and I'm used to.
Not like me. I'm friends with
I'm
Brad.
used to
all
everything's
straight
got to
edge,
be
serious.
factual, and it just turns me into brainy Smurf.
Right.
And I mean, it's really hard to balance, being goofy and fun, and along with actually also maintaining a reputation for being serious. So I'm actually thinking about going into comedy to try to merge the two.
Wow, look at you.
I don't even know how to do it. I mean, I just have to throw myself in there. I don't know what else to do.
You could be the Technomat.
Oh, I like that one.
Right? How about that? That could be
Steve,
your
write
comedy
that
name.
down.
What?
How about that? The
What?
Technomat.
The
Well, we got two
Technomat.
Macs here. That's going to be confusing.
That's very easy for me. I said that's
Right.
why.
Well, that's why we had the name.
Before we
the
came over here, I was
Technomat.
like, the only reason I'm doing this is because his name is Matt, and I don't have to
His name
remember.
is Matt.
That's right. It's
In
so
computer
easy.
science, we call that a name collision, but there's a scope error. Yeah. Right. So, let's see. So, I wanted to ask you guys about how you got the idea to get into a podcast.
Oh, really?
Right. Like, when did you originally conceive of this? I mean, I know you started it recently, but you mentioned on one of your shows it was
I
early
think,
on in
Mike,
life.
you got to answer that, but I think we've been doing this. It feels like we've been doing this our whole lives.
Well, it goes way back when we were in high school. We did
I
theater
was a
together.
baby.
Yeah. I was a nose with legs. I was only this tall.
That's right. We did theater together.
Right. Surprise.
And we had a lot of friends in the theater department, whatever. We were kind of goofy people or whatever. So
Right.
back then, we actually made cassette tape recordings of ourselves hanging out.
Right.
In Matt's house, he had converted his garage into the lounge,
Right.
which is where we hung out with
Right,
these
right.
old, like Victorian couches,
Yeah, like
and
an
Cadillac
old-
hubcaps
an
all
old
over the
garage,
wall.
a detached
very
garage.
civilized.
Yeah.
Right, right. A dartboard. We were playing Monopoly
Yeah.
way too much for people who play Monopoly, right? And we would record then, and then we kind of forgot about it. And then fast forward to this past Super Bowl.
What were you recording with? Was it like a
Just like a
tape deck?
Walkman or something.
Not even a Walkman. No,
Boom
you know,
box?
ones with the big buttons in the front.
A Victrola. Remember those things?
No.
Was it a Victrola?
Yeah. We were recording player piano soundtracks.
Mary
Play
had
later.
a little lamb.
Right,
His fleece
exactly.
was white as.
No, but it was an old.
That was like one of those ones, it's kind of flat. The tape, it comes
Yeah,
up
an
as top
old
loading.
recorder, like
put
right,
the tape
yeah.
in, hit record and play at the same time to record.
Something our kids wouldn't even know what it is.
And by the way,
no,
just
no.
for the record, in case you were wondering if they're really like this, they are. This
Yeah,
is
we really
totally
like this.
unscripted.
This is
the script. I haven't even really looked at it yet.
heavily,
so-
heavily
They're just-
medicated, but unscripted.
That's right. So anyway, fast forward to this past Super Bowl. Matt was at my house for a party or whatever.
Right.
And we were just kind of hanging out, And I think right then I was like, let's do a podcast,
We should
right? And my
start
cousin
doing
was
it.
there, and she's like, you guys should totally do a podcast.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we said, all right. We went and got a little bit of equipment, set up in my basement, and the saloon.
and the rest is history.
And
Got
that's
caught
yeah.
on fire. for
Yeah, we
us.
started recording
started
in
loving
March.
I caught your first episode.
Right,
Christine reposted it on.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. And I was just like, what? And I'm like, I checked it out, and I'm like, these guys are great.
Oh, thank you.
What is
thanks.
going on?
Oh, well, thank you.
So I've actually listened to all your episodes. So
Oh, wow.
I, mean,
That's
I
awesome.
watched
Great.
it too, but it was very boring. It's just
He's
the same
the one.
picture.
Right, it doesn't change. It doesn't change. We did do a Facebook Live,
Nothing's
though.
changing. It's just it always looks the same. It
Yeah.
always has
Hey, it's a damn nice picture, though, isn't it?
a very good picture. I feel like I'm there.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
That's
you feel
that's
like-
kind of our idea, right? Like we want you to feel like you're at the bar or
Right.
my
You're-
house
you're-
or our
you're
house, just
part
hanging
of
out
our
with us.
conversation.
We make sure we
Right.
crack beers into the microphone, things like that.
Exactly.
To make,
Nice.
Make it seem like.
So
you're there,
are you actually cracking beers into the microphone every time, or is that sound effects like a?
No, Mike is actually cracking multiple beers
Yeah.
on the microphone.
I wasn't talking about how many beers, but that's funny
That's
too.
all real, I can assure you.
A
There's
couple
no
of them.
editing.
A couple of them are drops.
Oh, thank you for supplying beers, by the
Very
way.
few.
Of course. Right, but very few. Right. In fact, we make sure we wait to open. Wait to
Right.
open it. I'll be sitting there,
Yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for the opportune time to make that sound happen.
Awesome, man. So we do a segment on here. I just do a quick news segment for the people who watch every
All right.
every week. So I'm just gonna go. Feel free to chime in.
Yeah, I'd
Here's
love
some
to
fun.
chime
Love
in on
chiming.
the news.
It's,
All right.
it's actually a pretty slow week, but it's just.
Is it about the Russians?
It's not about the Russians.
Ah.
So I gotta tell
Mike
you,
is Russian.
I gotta tell you, there's one thing about. So it was not shocking at all when anything about Russia and hacking came into the news, because if you are in the business and you're just sitting in a computer looking at the log file, seeing stuff come in for the internet, there's attacks coming from the whole planet. Most people don't realize this. The internet is a global war. There is a constant warm war.
He makes me
happening.
nervous when he says it's a
Dude, I
global
want to turn
war.
off my phone right
I
now.
know, really. Shut the phone off. Steve, knock it down.
I have an M80 in my
there's a
pocket
global
right now.
war. What the hell are we doing on a podcast?
It's like China and Korea and Russia and
Listen,
Israel and the United States.
Russia's been
and
bothering
Europe
us
and-
since Rocky. Hey, have we learned nothing from Rocky?
But by Rocky 5, they came around. Right?
Remember the
Rocky
end?
I would destroy
Right.
you.
Right.
At the end, Gorbachev stood up and clapped for Rocky.
Well,
at the end handle
Oh
Rocky?
my
Was it
God.
Rocky?
I think what we found out here is that Rocky started the internet, and this is why we're here. Is that where we're going?
I
Right?
think that's where
We
I
thought
never knew that.
we thought it was Al Gore, but it turns out it was Rocky.
Turns out it was
Sylvester
Rocky.
Stallone, I put my money on
And
him any
Gorby.
day.
Rocky and Gorby together.
and Gorby.
It was a joint venture.
Yeah. No, but I'm never surprised about the hacking. But not just Russia. I mean, I'm joking, but any country. I mean, that's their biggest asset.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to beat us militarily.
Right.
They're going to beat us where it hurts,
Well-
and that's with the computer.
Right. Well, no, but
Right?
absolutely right. I mean, you shut a country's power grid down. You own them.
You can't turn your laptop or your phone on. I have a heart attack.
Right.
I'm at work today. My Surface wouldn't boot up. I'm like,
dropped your
oh my
phone,
God,
my
oh my
baby.
God. Yeah. I'm thinking, what's going on? Right? We can't work without anything.
Well, even
Right.
on a smaller level, like my sister recently went to get her screen fixed on her phone. She picks it up, a half an hour later, the screen is fixed, and she gets like 25 calls from Bangladesh.
Right.
Instantly, right after she picks
Oh, that
up
was
her phone.
me. I'm sorry.
Right.
So she goes back. It's even on that smaller level.
Yeah, they might
And
even
it's a
have.
pain.
So that
Right.
could have happened a bunch of different ways. They could have put a piece of software on there that just sent a packet back over the internet and said, "Help, here's the phone number." It could have happened because the person actually sold them out and gave them and emailed the phone number out to for $1.
Right.
Because there's markets for these things.
Oh, $1, huh?
$1
$1 per
It's
number.
$1. That's not bad.
I'm probably overselling.
And now, what's your
it.
number? What's your number? Steve, you want to text us your number? But is there a real way? I'm just thinking of this as you're talking, Matt. Is there a way really to stop it? I mean, these companies, my
It's never
company,
gonna
every
stop.
giant company
It's
invests
an arms race.
millions and hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, right?
But the technology, I think, changes so quickly. I am not a technology guy either,
You're
as
not?
Matt, but we're interested in it.
So,
right?
so this is one of the things. This happens to, the thing that most people don't realize is this even happens to the pros. People get into technology vapor lock. Literally, the technologies are changing faster than people can make the words for them.
Right.
Colleges can't write curriculums for what's going on out there anymore because by the
That's
time
true.
they've written
That's
the
true.
curriculum for a 4-year degree, it's over.
Yeah. Right.
That's it.
Well, it's
I
like
mean,
steroids in baseball, same thing.
You know,
They change what they're taking because the test caught up with that. So now they're ahead of the game, the test catches up, and the steroids jump ahead.
That's why I don't do steroids anymore.
Well, right. But
Except my nose.
you are paying the
I
price.
inject
for
my
quitting so
nose
early.
daily.
Right. You should see his back knee he still
Yeah.
has. It's disgusting. Luckily, it's covered up with hair. What's worse than back knee is hair-covered back knee. Jeez.
Anyway, we could talk about
Got
hacking.
Engelbert Humperdinck shaved into his back. Bless you, Steve.
God bless you, Steve.
Thank you.
You're so tight.
He's allergic.
Yeah, Steve's actually got a band that is all the members are in different countries or in different places all over the world.
Really?
So yeah,
What?
he's a musician. He's a singer.
How do you do a
band.
concert?
Well, they're working on that. They're writing an album right now.
5
They're going to
screens.
tour.
Tour.
Wow.
They're going to meet and.
Oh, you're going to meet together until you're not going to tour on screens.
No, we're gonna meet together.
Oh, that would be spectacular.
Like
though.
giant
That's probably coming
screens.
too.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Solo shows in New York.
Wow, let us know. That's interesting.
Like Max Headroom.
Right.
Nice.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, man, it's really like, and because they can just, collaborate over the internet.
Wow,
They
that
can
is very cool.
They just, send each other clips and.
Yeah, but I have heard that. I have heard people collaborating, making albums, musicians over the internet. Well, we've heard that.
Sounds like a front for hackers to me.
Yeah, sounds like a hacking
a
scheme
hacking
to me,
front.
Steve.
Yeah, and once in a while, all their phone numbers get sold. So,
Right, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
all right, so cool. So we didn't even get to the news. I
No,
just
I'm
announced it.
sorry.
No,
We're
sorry about that.
interrupting the
No,
news.
Sorry about
it's perfect, man. I love it. Greed and Gladflies are the topics. So the greed one is actually kind of good. The greed lost, at least in Ohio. So I don't know if red light cameras piss you guys off,
Yeah, I don't like them.
but you know what? It turns out no one does.
No one likes
and no one in Ohio likes them either.
Except the red light manufacturer.
Yeah, except
Yeah, the guy that makes them
and
loves
the
them.
politicians
Right.
because they get lots of tax revenue from it.
Right.
So in Ohio, they basically said that you have to. They changed the standard by which they're allowed to put red light cameras up. Now they're going to put red light cameras up. This just happened this week. That they can only put red light cameras if it reduces a safety risk. In other words, if they make an
Right,
intersection safer,
Right.
you can't just put them up for money anymore.
Right.
Oh,
this is
so
a
it's not a
huge-
yeah. Okay.
This is a huge
So I think
change.
I've read-
It's just in one state, but
I could be wrong, but I think I read that the most recent study about the red light cameras, at least around here, were that there are more accidents but less severe. So there's been less severe injuries, deaths, whatever at these intersections. However, there's more fender benders.
Right.
Right,
I
right.
can see that.
Right. Because,
Everyone
one
slows
person's like,
down.
I can make
the
it.
minute you
Right.
see the light, you're like, "Arr!" Everyone slows down to nothing, from 60 miles an hour.
Which reminds me of our next episode about the bumper bullies and how ridiculous those are.
Right, those
That kind
bumper
of plays-
guards.
Right, maybe that's why. Maybe because of the red light cameras now people are putting bumper
I gotta
bullies
be honest.
on their 94 Saturns.
I've got the Marauder, Marauder burnouts, no problem.
Yeah, well, that's a cop car.
burnouts all day. So whenever I'm at a red light, a red light camera, red light, when it turns green, burnout.
You go.
But you don't have a bumper bully on that thing.
I do.
No way,
Get
you're
outta
a bumper
here.
bully
Wow.
guy.
I'm surprised you have a bumper bully.
I have.
At least it's on a nice car.
Yeah,
I have,
it's a
I
classic
have
car.
bars on all my cars, but it's not the I don't like bump into other people. It's
Right.
because the rear bumper on the Marauder,
Well, it's
the
a
market
big car,
value,
too. It's a big car.
Yeah.
because it's a rare bumper, it's $2,500
Just for the bumper.
Just
Right.
for the bumper.
Wow.
Someone slammed in the back of me on the stop sign.
I'm sorry about that, by the way.
So I put a trailer hitch and I put actually it absorbs the blow. It has a rubber a set of rubber impact mechanism.
Wow.
And between the trailer hitch and a metal bar, and if someone hits the back of me, it absorbs up to 5
Look
miles
at that.
Well, that's not a bumper bully.
No,
That's
we're
different.
thinking of like
that's
that,
legit
that,
cool.
that
The
cover on the bumper.
Right, the
Oh,
thin-
the flap?
like
Yeah,
the
the
mud
flap
flap.
thing.
Oh, they
Yeah.
suck.
Right,
Yeah,
thank you. All right. No. You have the
I was gonna
real
say,
deal.
man, I'm glad
No,
you're
no,
not.
I have like fucking it looks like Mad Max, like
Yeah.
bars coming
No,
out of the
yeah,
cars
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
That is indeed a bumper bully.
Yeah, that's a real bully.
But we talk about how you only see those
Great, thanks.
on like 94 Saturns or 89
Right.
Sunbirds. Like nobody with a really
Oh
nice
yeah,
car
I
has
forgot
them.
about that. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate
Oh,
that. I got
Steve.
input on the news. So I actually, I didn't put that on my news, but I should have. But well, yeah. So I have forget the van. So I have a 4x4
RV.
van. Yeah. Well, I guess somebody would technically call it a Class B, but it's just the bumper on the front of it is like a moose stopper. Really, is what it's meant, so that if you hit an animal, because we were going to go cross country with it.
Oh, boy.
So if we went cross country with it, and if I hit an animal, it wouldn't disable the van.
No,
I mean, it would bend
Especially
it
if you backed into it with that thing behind.
Oh, it wouldn't help if I was going back.
You'd be the best hunter going.
moose.
Yeah.
You hit a moose.
And that way, if we're hungry, we just, aim
Right,
for
yeah.
them instead of avoiding them.
Fresh venison.
Yeah, so, all right, so that was the one news thing. There's another one. So the Gladflies one is actually, so there was a thing with Trump where they ruled, the court ruled, and it's either a federal court or the Supreme Court, I don't know which one, ruled that Trump's not allowed to block his critics.
Oh, I read that.
So the
if
thing
you're
is-
a public figure, you can't block your critics on Twitter.
It's not just about Trump, it's about all
right,
public
all
figures.
public
Right.
figures, which is interesting.
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
now someone can sit there and heckle you.
So, Mike, you can't block me.
So if you run for office, he can't block you.
Well, right.
I mean, you can't block him.
Right.
He
But
can
the
heckle you all he
institution
wants.
can if it's out of control, right? So Twitter can step in and block this user.
Right.
So he can still report, or anybody can just report anyone they want.
Right.
Right, but it has to be egregious.
Well,
I think that's good.
Oh, egregious.
So
Right? You like that word? There's a $5 word.
egregious.
See, here's the interesting thing. There could be
Nice.
case law where it led to a situation where the terms of service of one of those media companies could actually be called into question. Are you consistently administering it, or are
Right.
you favoring one politician over another?
Right.
As an extension of.
But it goes for everybody.
As a case law extension
Right.
of that law.
I think it's a
of
good
that ruling.
I would agree with that.
I'm for it.
I'm okay with it too.
Yeah, but can't you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but can't
You're
you
wrong.
mute, you're wrong. Can't you mute someone on Twitter?
you can.
Yes.
And what does that mean?
I mean, you don't see their comments,
You
but
don't
they
see
still
them, and they
exist.
don't see you.
So then why don't you just do that? Anyone,
It's just
You don't see them.
you don't
Oh,
see them, the
right.
voice? Oh, you don't see
right.
them.
But if I went onto that Twitter page,
I'm so
I would see it.
anti-censorship. I just put up with the fire hose. So
Yeah, I mean, it's an open format.
Right. I just let anyone post anything to me, or I post anything. I never block anyone because I'm just like, I'll just deal with it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Because
Yeah.
what if they're right once, right?
Well, that's the thing, man. You got to sometimes take them seriously too.
Right. You got to take them seriously because it doesn't even matter if you don't really. Someone else takes them.
Well,
seriously.
negative doesn't mean wrong.
Everyone needs
Right, like-
critics.
Well, some
Everyone.
people are just wrong.
Everyone needs critics. Right.
Of course, people are wrong. But
everyone
like
needs
every
to-
negative
Someone's
comment,
wrong on the internet.
right? But every negative comment isn't wrong.
Right,
That's
right,
like,
true.
exactly.
And it pushes you to think a little bit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hate them. I don't want any negative comments.
Well, that's why I don't show them to.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to hear any negative news.
Yeah,
either,
that's
man.
it. It's good to have a friend like
Right,
that.
yeah,
I just
nothing
take the fire
negative.
hose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Matt's
really-
resistance to social media. We're still trying to convince him, and I think we're going to make it mandatory and step into
I'm
a contract
close.
about
I'm close.
he needs a Twitter account.
Yeah.
I don't have a personal Twitter account. The show has a Twitter account, Everyday
Right.
Nonsense Podcast.
Right, at EVRY Day
Right.
Nonsense.
But
no
I don't
second
have
E.
a personal one. You have a personal one?
On Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a personal
Steve,
one.
you have a personal one?
Kinda.
Oh, kinda.
Kinda, incognito.
Wow, look at
Steve-O.
that.
It's for music.
It's for music.
Right, yeah.
Twitter's my favorite out of
And
all.
I know
of them.
you have one.
I don't really hide who I am, so but I can understand why someone else would. See, the problem with anonymity is it's a strategy.
Right.
It's not. A lot of people are like, oh, anonymity is inevitable, and one of the you start seeing things differently when you're like as a technocrat when you realize how encryption works. So encryption is an arms race, just like the internet attacking everybody else.
Interesting.
So when someone writes an encryption algorithm, people will find flaws in it. It's actually really hard to do encryption right because first of all, the algorithm itself has to be right, then the implementation has to be right. So and everything has to be perfect, and the mistakes are found. So what could happen is if two people are interacting on the internet, someone could record their session, not have any idea what they're saying,
Right.
but it just looks like gobbledygook, and then 5 years later, when someone cracks the encryption, they can decrypt it and see what they were saying 5 years ago.
Interesting.
Right?
Wow, who would have known that?
Computer geeks
Right,
would know that,
right.
right?
It sounds like they do.
Is that coding? Encryption? Is that what coding is?
Well, coding is when you write a program.
Right.
Right.
okay.
So a simplest program in the world, the one that most people start with is
Jumpman Jr.
10 go to 20, 20 go to 10. Right.
20 go to 10.
Print. Matt is awesome.
Right.
20 go to 10, and it just prints it over and over on the
Okay.
screen. That's the first program everybody writes.
And that's been like that
And so-
forever.
and that's a loop.
Really?
You're just
Right?
doing the same
I
thing
remember,
over.
excuse me 1 second, and then
No, it's fine, go
I
for it.
hate to talk over you, but in grammar school, we learned that very thing on like Atari 26s, not even Commodore 64.
Well, I didn't go to grammar
But when
school.
we had computer, it was those simple coding, but it was the same thing. First thing you learned 30 years ago,
Interesting.
35 years ago,
Right.
was creating this loop, 10 go to 20. I remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm
I
a
don't
coder.
remember
I guess
that.
I can code.
Yeah, well, if you wrote a program, you can code, right?
I did, man. It was a ball that went like this,
Well-
and then it went back here, and it kept going like that.
In our circle, it's very funny, Matt, but in our circle, Mike is the most technologically advanced out of all of us, and we have a small group, and that's really sad. I
That's
think.
saying something.
But we go to him for our technical questions.
I can't set my watch.
Right, we think he's pretty advanced, and now we hear this, and we're like, what
Oh,
the heck
geez,
is going
yeah.
on? So it's fascinating.
Yeah. So he was trying to get me to set his watch before the show. I can't set his watch either, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, the thing is, like, so
Can you set my VCR clock from not blinking 12 o'clock? Because that is a
I have a
records on
question
time.
on here about
for
that.
years.
It
it's
never
blinking.
records on time.
What the hell's going on?
Well, so this is the problem: is that one of the reasons people use computers for everything is because you have the same software that you're using over and over.
Right.
You only have to learn it once. Every time you got a new watch or a new VCR, or a new microwave, or a new car, you have to learn it all over again. It's maddening. It's maddening for everyone. It's not just maddening.
It's
for
maddening for the manufacturers.
You. It is.
Right,
So-
even the car manufacturers don't even know what to do sometimes.
No. And by the way, that programming language is most likely BASIC. That's
Yes.
usually
Yeah, that's what it was.
Wow, I didn't
nobody
realize that.
really uses BASIC in the
I'm
industry, but
sure.
lots of people start off,
Right.
in BASIC. And actually, there is a version of BASIC that's still used today on Windows. That's pretty cool.
Really?
Visual Basic. So, or now it's VBS, and then it's VBS scripts. So, but yeah, so there is. It did eventually feed into something where
Well, I have another
people are using it
question
in
for you,
professional
but I
capacity.
I know you want to get to the news, and I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
We got a good one, right?
You guys thought these guys
did
thought
some
they were going to come on here for half an hour
Right.
and just be bored out of their minds.
That's
I
not what we
told
said.
you. I warned
Matt's
you.
on the road tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got dinner
Yeah,
reservations.
I know. I know. I'm razzing it.
If this face doesn't get 8 hours,
Right, yeah.
you got to see
Come
what
on,
it looks
yeah,
like
it looks
in the
like-
morning.
yeah, really.
I mean, it takes an hour to
Masking
unglue the
tape.
wig and put it
Yeah,
on
my
the
God.
model at home.
A lot of.
You look
glue.
sculpted.
Well,
Ridiculous.
thank you. I try. It's not easy at this age.
No,
31 now.
like a Jello sculpture.
Yeah.
31.
How long you been 31 for?
Like a mashed potato sculpture. Right?
right.
Close
Or
encounter
chopped
of the third
liver
kind.
sculpture like at a bar mitzvah. I like that mug too. We got to talk about that scary mug.
I bought this for meetings.
I don't know. I know,
had
but the
had
way
it
you're
with a
looking
group of
at it.
meetings that we were having.
Wow,
It
it's
was
very
the same meeting
severe.
over and over. And I'm just like, that's it. I'm getting the mean mug.
Yeah,
and
but
it,
you're-
and it turns out the meeting solved itself, and I never got to bring.
But
the mug.
that's your look. Like if you had a gun, I mean, you and people I know you're close to.
Yeah.
Your look is that very heavy metal.
Yeah.
Severe.
Severe.
Like this.
I embrace.
Like everyone sees.
I
Like,
embrace my inner Viking.
Like that's the look.
I embrace.
Don't touch my coffee!
Like Matt using that mug would be completely out of place. You know?
I'd be scared every time I take a drink. I'd be like, oh my God!
Did you see how he picked it up? He's like,
Right. Well, he has one like that.
Exhibit A.
He has one like that, but it's Perry Como's face.
Right. I'd be scared every time I take a
It's the Andy Williams Christmas album face.
Oh, God, that's funny.
That's great.
Crazy
You guys
news.
are really
Thank you,
funny,
and you
man.
gave me this mug. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And
Right.
there's a history behind this mug.
Yeah. So
right?
that
Everyone
mug,
sees it.
that mug is actually from the only working missile silo in the United States.
Oh my God!
Museum. And actually, there's no nuclear material there.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Why you give me the nuclear mug?
It's all in the mug.
It's not.
Yeah. Thank you.
They just melted down the missile and made it into mugs.
This
And
mug
now you're
came
drinking
from
out of it.
Chernobyl.
Yeah.
And it was the last mug that they used before the reactor blew, and I flew it in for you.
You're drinking isotope
Yeah.
fuel. Yeah, it's coffee. It's
Glowing.
coffee.
I don't know what's
It's
going
down
on.
all the way on the border of Arizona. I guess they
God.
thought maybe they take out some Mexicans along.
Right,
with it.
oh my-
If they went to nuke the silo.
Yeah. It's nice,
And,
though.
Right.
Yeah, and they so actually most people don't realize, and I didn't realize either until I went on that tour. The nuclear missiles that they used back then were the same rocket design that they used in the Apollo missions.
Get out of
They're
here.
the same thing.
Same. It looks exactly.
It's just
the
you
same.
put people in it instead of
Right.
a weapon.
Wow,
on the
I didn't
top.
know that.
And then
Yeah.
they went and made coffee mugs out of the
Right, yeah.
scraps from those old rockets.
And then I got this.
But
mug.
my
That's what you're
point is, the
drinking.
astronauts have lived a
Right.
long time. A few of them. at
It's
least,
bathed
so
in rocket
You
fuel.
might be okay.
No, it looks very clean. I mean, I'm twitching.
Right. It wasn't seltzer when you
Steve,
started
shut the
drinking
lights on.
Yeah,
Yeah, Matt's
exactly.
glowing yet.
it. Yeah. That nose is.
Oh my God!
All I could see was that nose.
I see three heads when I look at Steve.
This is why I love having Steve here. This is great.
It's good to have Steve there.
Yeah, Steve is a fountain of resourcefulness.
Well, it's been very nice. Yeah.
Have you ever been called a fountain before?
Yeah. Of resourcefulness.
Just constantly
Yeah,
flowing with resources.
I flow forth.
Right. Yeah. All right, back to the news.
All right, back to the news.
I feel like
so
we're-
the one that
you know,
Steve
come
brought
on
over,
now,
and
Matt.
this is so there are 200,000 people apparently signed up, and it's 342,000 people now signed up in a pact. Now, some people say this is a joke.
A pact.
A pact to, at the same time, meet outside of Area 51
Uh-oh.
and storm it.
Really?
What?
342,000 people have signed up to this.
Wow, it's like a crazy music.
Are you
festival.
signed up for that?
No. They'll shoot
Are
your
any-
ass. It's a military base.
Are any bands playing?
What he didn't.
What?
Additional 363,000 interested.
Another. So it's double if you get the fence sitters.
And Steve,
off
where
of
is
the
your
fence.
band playing?
Yeah,
Where
right.
did you say?
Area 51.
They're just going to see Steve's band
Well,
and they're
Technocrat Live
Right.
from Area 51.
Presumably that next one will just be playing on the vehicle as they're riding it.
I've got the vehicle for it.
I love it.
You have to keep moving or else they'll shoot
I love
you.
it. Right.
It's not mine-proof though.
It'll
I
have,
don't know if they're all going to show up.
it'll have a bumper
they
bully
will.
on
They're going to
it.
show up.
They totally
Let
won't
me tell
show
you
up.
something. If 300,000
Well, you know what?
people show up, they're storming it.
If
I mean,
These
they're
people
getting
don't know how to
If
storm.
300,000 people signed up, that means that 30,000 might actually show up. That's enough. They can't kill them all.
But they don't know
Yeah,
how to.
no, that's serious.
They say if they Naruto run, then they will be able to run faster than the bullets.
What? All right. Well, maybe that.
These people
that's
don't
all
know.
we need
They
to
don't know
And
how to
where is
storm.
Area 51 again?
Apparently, they live in a cartoon world.
There is in Nevada?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Caesar's going to
Yeah, like
sponsor that whole event.
350,000 people. I'll go.
Yeah, right, we're going.
Right. Anything in Nevada, we're there.
If we can stay at the Mirage, we're
Yeah.
there.
Right. I will storm the hell out of anything you
Yeah,
want.
right, for a free
Yeah.
room, I'll storm Wayne Newton's show.
You guys are standing in the lobby of Caesar's Palace.
Right.
All right, we're ready. Where is everybody?
Do they give you a free night stay if you sign that website?
Yeah, you sign up and you storm, and then you go and you stay at Bally's.
Hotel, right.
Right. Right.
Wow.
I like it.
What do you think about, I mean, both of you, you know?
Don't threaten
Yeah,
me.
you too. What are you trying to get away from that trait?
See, this is what you guys are missing out when you're not doing video.
What do you
We might
think-
soon, actually.
Yeah, we might go to video. If we can get a wide nose lens. What do you think about Area 51? Do we believe it? Is that all true? Is it blown out of proportion? Is it? I mean, something's there, but what do we
So
think?
watch Joe Rogan 1315. That was the most convincing analysis I've seen of an Area 51 kind of story where somebody was claiming to work on UFOs. But the problem is there's no way to know.
Right.
There's no way to know. This is the most credible person
Well, if we
I've ever
storm the
seen.
facility, we'll know.
Well, everybody will know. 363,000 people will know.
Well, I think that's part of what's driving this. I mean, there was I think like 6 or 7 million hits on that video. So
Wow.
you know,
I gotta watch. I didn't know. So
You know what's going to
well,
happen?
this guy's been around since the 80s, but the thing
Right.
is, what happened was he said these things like, oh, it did this, there was this in the ship, this and that and the other thing, and everything he said in the past turned out to be true, either scientifically or about devices he was talking about.
You heard, like he said, there's going to be some kind of thing you're going to talk into, and you're going to be able to see people, and the phone happened.
Who said this?
Well, no, it wasn't. That's the idea, but
Some guy.
Is this Nostradamus? Who are we talking about?
I don't remember the guy's
William
name.
Shatner.
JRE 13.
Oh, William Shatner. Well, I believe it.
Yeah. But there was like something where like they used a bone scanner. He was claiming they used a bone scanner to do biometrics. By the way, never do biometrics.
Who's doing the claiming?
This guy.
Who said he was
This guy. Come on.
I don't know the
What
name.
guy?
His
Give me
name-
names.
His
All
name is
right,
Michael Monday.
Steve, they're razzing me. Could you tell me who was on JRE 1315?
Yeah.
Who was on JRE 1315, Steve? Need that info
I'm
stat.
sorry.
17 and 18
Poor
too,
Steve.
And if his name is actually this guy,
And Jeremy Corbell.
Okay.
ooh, the Corbell brothers.
Did they have a podcast?
So he was saying there was this device, and everyone's like, "There's nothing like that exists."
Wow.
Well, it turns out 20 years later it exists.
So there's probably something there.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean,
Yeah.
But of course, he could just be lying. He could just have
Right.
a long series
Yeah.
of credible lies.
It could be
You
like
don't know.
Al
It depends
Capone's
on
safe,
him.
where
Right.
everybody storms it and there's nothing there.
Right. There's cobwebs and
Right, there'll be like a live show. David Copperfield will do an open, right? And then they'll show everybody storming Area
Right.
51 and be like an alien stuffed animal, you know?
Well, I will tell you something that I read, and I don't think we ever talked about this, Mike, and I don't, obviously we never did. But Jackie Gleason, who we're big fans of, I'm a big fan of, Mike was very into UFOs and aliens, and he was very good friends with Richard Nixon.
Right.
And he says, Jackie Gleason, in off interviews, if you look it up, when he was alive, that there is an Area 51, that he saw Area 51, that he got a private tour by Richard Nixon.
Wow.
And that,
Wow.
he really believed that. He was like really into that.
Why would he say so?
And for people who don't know who that is, that's who Fred Flintstone was.
Right, yeah. No.
Right.
Seriously, people might not know who he
Right.
is.
But he really, that's serious. And Steve, check if you can, Steve, fact check that. But I believe Jackie Gleason was into that UFO stuff, and I believe he said Richard Nixon showed him the whole shebang.
I'd love to hear that
Thank
this
you,
is false,
Steve.
by the way. I'd love to hear.
Look at you invoking Steve.
I know. I don't know if I can do
Fucking
that. And I'll
Steve.
take a light. No, I'm only kidding.
Poor Steve.
Poor Steve. But I
Right now
just
he's
wonder
like
if that's
he's
true.
like just under his breath. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Son of
Matt
a-
wants to bring Steve to work
Crazy
tomorrow.
people on the
These
show.
son of a bitches.
You need to hire Steve
telling
to
me
just
to
walk
look
around
up
with you and fact check stuff. Like Kramer on
be
Seinfeld.
I told you we need an
Kramer
engineer.
had an intern.
Listen,
on
if we had a fact checker, we'd have no show.
you need an intern.
We need facts to have a
Little
fact
rating I
check.
see everywhere, including Snopes, but I did two other sources too. It says unproven. So it doesn't mean it was disproven, but it's not approved.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, look at
it
that.
It isn't disproven, and a lot of them will get disproven. A lot of it, or you can prove they're not true. Like if someone says we weren't on the moon, you can prove that wasn't true.
But you do.
It's not easy,
Jack
but it's
Gleason
doable.
He was a UFO fanatic.
Right.
There you go.
There you go.
So you're half right.
Right? See
Yeah.
that? Story of my life.
He never met Nixon,
Half
though.
everything. I met Nixon.
Yeah, right.
But that was a
You think
different
you
story.
are Nixon.
Yeah.
Actually, we think Matt might be a time traveler. All these years we've been trying to figure out, right?
He's a man out
As
of
we've
time.
known
I'm a
Matt.
man out of time.
This is him since he's 15. This
Yeah, I am
is
a man out of time.
legit. But now, actually on the podcast, when our
at him
buddy
looking
Greg was on,
stone.
I am.
we figured out that he is indeed a time traveler.
I am,
He's
yeah.
always talking about the flux capacitor, the DeLorean.
I have
He's
the
always
DeLorean.
quoting things from 50, 60 years
Should've
ago.
bought the flux
Right.
capacitor. I have.
I think he's
I
just
live
a time
with a guy
traveler.
that looks like Doc.
You do?
Right.
Right.
You know what? Captain America. You should have been Captain America.
Oh, okay. So, the first Captain America
would
movie.
talk like you, man.
I
totally would.
saw my first Captain America movie the other night. My
Yeah.
son showed it to me. He's going to be 13. He never watched the Marvel movies. Now he's into them, like the last year. I've never seen the Captain America one. It was great. And you know who the villain was? It was an older one. Robert Redford. Do you remember
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one? He was good, Robert Redford.
Right?
Yeah.
Of course he was.
Right? I
good.
mean, how did
Yeah.
you get him to do that movie? He never does a movie. They got
He
him
was
to do
in one of the
Captain America.
greatest computer movies of all time.
Which one was that?
Sneakers.
Oh, Sneakers. Right. I remember that.
That is considered to be.
He was also in Indecent Proposal.
It's considered to be like, lots of movies are really bad with their tech.
Right.
Sneakers is spot on.
Well, he's pretty good. I was just surprised to see like him in that movie. It really, it was a great movie. So they're good. Those Marvel movies are good.
Yeah.
I miss Stan Lee on that now. He's not doing cameos, right?
I know.
Well, that's the first movie that he doesn't have a cameo
At
in.
least you'd have a chuckle.
Well, the Spider-Man
No matter how
one.
bad it was, you'd have a chuckle when Stan Lee
I
would
missed
show
not
up.
seeing because I knew he did that. So
Yeah.
I missed in the new Spider-Man not seeing him. Even though I'm not a giant Marvel or comic guy or superhero guy, but the movies are good. I will admit.
Yeah,
that.
they're great.
pretty-
They're a lot of fun.
They're a lot of
It's
fun.
been a long time coming. I mean, people were demanding these movies in the 70s and 80s, like the comic book fans. I mean, there weren't like hundreds of millions of them, but there were tens of millions of
Who
them.
knew there were so many superheroes?
There's quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, they
Stereo.
just,
A lot of people knew that.
a lot of people were really, they just wouldn't.
Mike,
take
you never told me that.
The most, I mean, think about how crazy this is. Michael Keaton as Batman is the most serious that they ever took a superhero movie to that point.
Right.
That was the most serious.
Yeah, that was a groundbreaking
And half of it was
movie. We've
completely
talked about that.
bonkers goofy.
Yeah.
Like cartoon.
What
right
about
out of-
Jack Nicholson as the Joker? That was
We actually like that movie.
Yeah, that's one of our.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah,
So,
that's my favorite.
I don't know how to classify it because like half the time it's an adult movie and half the time I feel like
It was a dark movie though, and it was groundbreaking. Right. I remember seeing it like.
Well, it
this is
introduced
different.
like the new superhero movies.
Right. This was different than anything we
And then
saw
it took them
before.
quite a while to get it right.
and then they didn't
You
get
know.
it right again for another 5, 6, 7
And then
years.
Rosemary Clooney was Batman.
Well, and then everything was fine.
Yeah,
She was
everything
Batgirl,
good.
Bat Grandma.
Bad nipples.
Yeah. Bat nipples.
Well, it's true.
Imagine that sign, right? That light.
That's a different type of movie.
Right, yeah.
But I remember
This ain't
when
bat
George
nipples.
Clooney did it, and he said it was the worst movie he ever made. Right? He hated it. Remember
Yeah.
he did Batman?
Yeah.
It was
Right.
so bad.
He was right.
He hated doing it.
With
He
Chris
hated
O'Donnell
it.
as
Right. And now who's Batman now? I saw what's his name?
Oh.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Affleck.
Not anymore.
He
Not
quit.
anymore.
Oh, he quit? Who's
He
the
just
new
quit.
Batman? There's another new
He's
Batman?
pissed about
Yeah.
the scripts were terrible in the new. In the
Adam
second
West?
season. I'm sorry.
Who's the new one?
A lot
That guy
of people
from-
are mad about that, but
No, I didn't know he quit. Who's the new Batman?
It's what
They don't have one yet.
Well, no, they got the guy from some show.
Pattinson.
That guy.
Who?
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
Geez, you didn't even have to look that one
Who's
up.
that, Rob?
What show is
Were you
he?
anticipating that
Twilight?
question?
He's
He started
from
looking up
Twilight.
Batmans while we're talking about
He
him.
played Edward from Twilight. They had like more masculine roles since.
He's Batman?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't see him as Batman.
He had more gritty roles since, so people thought he'd be a good fit.
Wow.
I don't see him.
I don't
as
say,
Batman.
you know.
But
It's a
hey.
little rumor now. It's not confirmed yet.
Steve, you should be Batman. Enough of this.
Right.
Yeah, right. There you
Oh
go.
yes, that's it. He's got the voice.
So it's like,
And-
have you seen
and-
Bat Dad? That viral guy?
Oh yeah, no,
Dude, that guy's great, man. Bat Dad, have you seen
No,
him?
I haven't seen Bat
He's this guy with his kids, and he just posts YouTube videos with his kids, but he's got the cowl, and
Yeah.
he takes selfies where you just see his eye in the cowl,
I
and he
love
just says crazy stuff to his
love
kids.
it.
Really?
It's awesome. Yeah, he'd be like, Grace, why are you eating cereal? You know? It's great.
Don't stand with the refrigerator door
You showed me
open.
that before.
Yeah, it's funny.
I like Baby Shark too. Another big hit. But let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I don't like, and Mike and I have talked about this before, and since we're talking about Batman, I don't like how Batman changed his voice like that. I don't like Batman like that. I don't like it. To me, it's off-putting.
That doesn't really sound
I
like
know
it,
I'm
though.
Batman. Everyone knows he's Batman. See, that's what I like about the new Spider-Man, because the new Spider-Man, everyone knows he's Spider-Man. The gig is up.
Right.
You know, that little, you know you're Spider-Man. You disappear, you show up, they know. The
Right.
girlfriend
It's the-
knows.
it's the worst kept
Everyone
secret
can
in the
figure it
world.
out. So it's like kind of cool.
Right,
But
right.
with Batman, I mean, we know it's Batman. It's even less of a costume.
Which in life imitating art is also apparently reflected in Tom Holland's ability to keep a secret about what the next plot's going to
Right,
be.
well, they do that on purpose. They do that
I don't
on
know.
purpose. They do.
Sometimes I wonder, you know?
They really do. I'm going to grab another water.
Oh, yeah, that ain't
All
when
right?
you grab
Yeah,
it.
that's
That ain't when you
All right.
grab it.
Hey, thank
See,
you very much.
you heard the beer crack. It's real.
Right,
guys.
that's
It is real.
Yes.
Yeah, put that
And
in
this is
that.
actually not water, it's straight vodka.
Yeah.
If you got one for me, I'll actually take it.
Radioactive
Oh.
slime.
What you-
Yeah, all right.
I have no idea what I'm going to
Not
get
only
into.
my
are you
friend.
the
It's yellow.
technocrat, you're the aristocrat.
So does this have anything to do with missiles or nuclear material or anything?
Not as much as that mug.
right, yeah.
I don't know.
I like it.
There we go.
All right. So I'm just
More
gonna hit you
news,
guys
more
with-
news.
No, we're done with the news.
That's it for the news?
I think. I don't know.
All right.
Who
Any
Who cares?
Trump lifted the blacklist for Huawei.
Huawei.
what?
Oh,
I like
interesting.
Wawa. I like it better than 7-Eleven. Wawa.
Oh, yeah. I like Wawa a lot. I love their diet iced tea. It's the best.
Huawei is a
Wawa
chip
is-
company.
Wait, what did
guys.
Trip do to Wawa? What did he do to Wawa? Can you say it again?
Look, guys, this is Huawei. This is
Oh,
the
Wa-
the
oh,
chip
Wa-
company that makes this. the chips for this.
I thought it was Wawa the store. I really did. I'm like,
So much better. Their hoagies are great.
Yeah, they really are.
So I was like, what did he do? He shut down Wawa's?
There was
Come on, man.
And we have no peace in this.
Oh, geez, that's the worst news I've heard today. I'm going to Maryland next week. I planned on a Wawa or two.
And Dunkin' Donuts are shut down.
Jeez. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry about that.
no, it's good. I like it.
All right, so what did he do to Wee-Wee's?
Well, the Chinese weren't allowed to eat Wendy's, and then now they are again. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they got to have their Wendy's.
Yeah.
Come on now. I like Wendy's.
Wendy's the best.
Yeah, it's good. Not better than McDonald's.
So I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Whose name goes first? Is it Matt or
It's
is it
Mike.
Mike? Mike. Okay, so you guys decided that. It's definitely Mike.
Yeah,
always
I
Mike.
decided that.
Okay, cool.
He's the main guy.
He's the main guy.
No, it's not the main guy. No.
You know why? Because he's a technocrat.
Well, he's the
That's
top
why he has to go
villain. Yes,
first.
yes.
Because
He
I'm
knows
the
all
one
tech
typing
stuff.
it.
Right.
If he were typing it,
That's it.
It would say
that's
Matt,
all
like,
there is
you know?
to being a technocrat, right?
Right.
You're the one
I
typing
like
it.
it.
You win.
Yeah, I think it flows better, Mike and Matt, too. I honestly do.
well, like I said too, we only added that tag on at the end because there is
Right.
another podcast with the name Everyday
Oh,
Nonsense.
yeah, what's that story? What happened there?
Well, nothing really. I mean, like we were researching that there wasn't another one, and then 2 weeks before we dropped our first one, it popped up.
Right.
And we had already, we have the guy that.
I want to tell you, it's not just you guys. This kind of crap happens all the time.
Yeah,
like,
well-
the first thing, if I have bought like 24 domain names that I later discarded because as soon as I have an idea, the first thing I do is buy the domain name.
Yes,
Right.
he's one of those.
Well, I have the domain
You're
name,
very
but
good.
we're actually the website itself is still under
Right,
construction. That was the first thing I did because I think
Right.
that's the most important.
Yes.
Because
Well,
it's like.
oh yeah, you're more technical than you let on.
With
You're
the-
like,
no,
I'm just an everyday guy. I don't know.
no, I'm just doing
He
some
doesn't
research.
buy the domain
Right,
name
right,
first.
yeah.
No, I just do some research,
He's on a
I'm
limo.
out of you.
Yeah, it makes me laugh.
But we had already there's a good friend of ours that actually recorded the music.
Oh,
that
yeah,
we
we gotta
used, we have
mention
the
him.
theme song that we use.
He's probably
Abernathy or
watching
something?
today.
Dave Abernathy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's great. He's a composer, he's a lyricist, he works for a licensing company on Broadway.
He's on Broadway.
Oh.
and
Not
he's-
Broadway in the city, 106, 107.
right. At the he writes music.
I
for
crashed into a deli on that
right.
road.
Yeah,
I
he
know
writes
that road.
music for the falafel stand. But still, love you, Dave.
Sikh, he works for the Sikh temple. He's very good. I mean, really, he's excellent.
Right, you should hear him play a snake.
Well, he
unbelievable.
can charm a snake out of a basket.
He
like
could.
Nobody's business. The guy
Right,
is good.
right.
He's good.
But he's doing some more things for us. He's doing some drops for us.
Have
He's
a
doing
diverse set
some.
of skills.
No,
right?
he's really
Right.
good.
So it's
We're
great. So
lucky.
he had already written the song. We had already recorded the song or whatever. And I'm not saying these guys did anything wrong. It's not like a really obscure name.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we decided after talking to a few people that we would just go ahead with it and just kind of see what happens.
Right.
And we have a couple of if something should happen where there is some kind of competition or some confusion or anything.
So the way the trademark rules work is you have to register trademarks.
Right.
No,
So if
no.
he didn't register it,
Well,
he can't stop you.
we didn't either, but
Yeah, but I mean, then now there's prior art. Now that you guys are there, and you can just be like, we were here first.
Well, right. The actual law, I believe, from my research, says that the trademark in this kind of a situation would go to the first
This comes
person.
up a lot in computers. That's why.
Right. Right. It would go, but podcasting is still very gray as far as the law and intellectual property goes, right?
Right.
So what I've read, and this could be wrong and it could be right, is that the first person that has it, should there be a battle, is the person that has the trademark rights to it.
Right.
However, you also can't trademark legitimately a title to something like a podcast. It's like, Dave told me this. He's
Right.
like, I could write a song called Stairway to Heaven if I
Right.
wanted to and name it Stairway to Heaven.
Right.
Why don't we do that?
It would be dumb.
Right. Or really smart.
Or really smart. Right.
What the hell is this?
Right. But the property itself, what you're talking about, can't be identical.
Right.
So he can't write the same song. But he can
But he can
name it
title
the
it,
same.
right.
Right.
So.
Well, we have a team of.
No, I think you're probably right about it. I wouldn't worry about it.
No, we're not worried about it. We'll try to write it out and see. Like hopefully people like
That's
this
really
regardless,
interesting. I think. Well, so it's interesting. There's a name collision. My Linux users group. People just don't do research. That's part of the problem. Also, it's like we had Lilug has been Lilug since the 90s. We're a federal and state nonprofit. If we ever had someone started a group called Lilug on Long Island,
Really?
they didn't even look it up. They didn't even Google us.
Yeah, they don't even.
They didn't even try.
Right, they
you
didn't
know?
even- right.
Yeah, I'm like, come on.
And it's
guys,
easy
really?
to find. Now it's so easy to find something, right? You just
Yeah.
type anything in.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
You can find out any name or anything.
And you know
want,
what? Actually, the cool thing is, like a lot of people get mad about that, but one of the cool things about coming from the open source world is it's just kind of like, all right, good. I'm glad
Right.
for them. It's fine. I don't love that they have exactly the same name as us
Right,
at a
sure.
glance. But whatever. I don't care if there's another Lilug.
Right.
And sure enough, I think actually they just announced that they're doing less meetings, so they're kind of fading away. And,
Really?
Yeah. So probably the same thing will happen. The other guys.
you never know.
Away. I mean, you guys are cranking podcasts out, and they're really funny.
Yeah,
so.
we
thank you, man, yeah.
release.
I mean, you're gonna be ahead of me soon.
10 a week.
Yeah, we do 2 every
10
day,
every
both
day.
before lunch.
Right. What do you sleep in the basement? Just wake up. Okay, I'm ready.
We've got a
I'm
lot
recharged.
of material. Let's put it that way.
What we did was we recorded, I think, 5, maybe even 6 before we dropped one.
Well, your entire base of material is people acting ridiculous, which is basically the entire planet. So you should be at this a while.
Right. Well, that's the
And you have a time machine, so you have all the time in the world.
Right.
It's endless information.
It really is endless
really
information.
is.
You know, we really try to, if you haven't listened to the show and you want to check us out, like what we really do try to talk about is, we call it meaningless prattle. That really doesn't matter. You know, and in this, our news cycle that we're sitting in right now, right, I think
Oh my gosh,
that something like that might be a little bit welcome. And you know what, there's a million podcasts out there, but probably very similar. But, you know, hopefully we can bank on the chemistry and people will like it. And, you know.
Right. You know, it's weird because I face the same problem too, right? Sometimes we run into politics. We have to.
Right.
Just because you're talking about computers, inevitably it ends up talking about ethics, right? And inevitably ethics ends up talking about politics. I mean, it's just the way it goes.
natural progression.
Tonight we
right.
talked about Nixon already.
And really there's 2 ways you can go, which is either you can be super serious and actually have a studied, detailed, fact-based conversation on what's going on, or you could just completely goof off.
Right.
And actually, it's a relief to hear the goof off sometimes.
yeah.
Well, right.
You know,
True,
I'm too serious for myself.
Everything is very
serious.
serious.
Right.
Yeah.
I always believe
But
that.
you can't do middle of the road anymore. You have to
you
go
can't.
one way or the other.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
But I think the thing that we try to hit home to anybody that's listening to us is, if we'll do a nonsensical, you know, we call them nonsensicals, and that's probably the part of our show that people react to the best.
That's our Cadillac, Matt.
Right.
That's our showstopper.
Right, and these are the little things that happen
Corinthian
to you. Yeah. These are the little things that happen to you every day. But
It's all done up.
after we talk about it, we want it to be now, when it happens to you, you think of the podcast.
Right.
You know, like the waving when somebody waves you on, right? That was our first
a great
episode.
one.
That was
you know, when people wave you on, do you go? Do you stop? Do you this? Do you
Right,
that?
like I told a story, right, because it bothers me, where I pulled up to an intersection on a side street, right? The guy had already been there.
Right.
And he was not on his phone, not doing anything, he was just driving, right? He had already been there, so I waved him through. He waves me through. I said, no. Right. I was
I'm
here
waving
first.
you
Like,
through.
right. I'm
Here we
like,
go,
why
right?
do you need to be the nicer person, right? Because that's what you're trying to do, right?
what
So
he does.
I wave him through again. What does
peacocking.
What does he do
He's
next?
peacocking.
Right, and then
What does he do next?
he waves you on.
He flicks his brights.
Oh, he flicks his
So I
brights.
flick my brights. Now what happens?
Now it's a fight.
inevitably.
Now it's a
well,
street
no.
fight.
Now I go. What does he do?
He grabs his bat.
He goes. And now you're in a break battle,
Yeah.
right? If you just went when I waved you
bumper
on the
cars,
first
yeah.
time, why
We
you got to be the
would've
nicer
avoided
person? Just go.
Yeah.
But now, fast forward, you're at an intersection, Matt.
Yeah.
Somebody waves you through, or no, I'm sorry, you wave someone through, and they were there first,
Right.
And they don't go. What are you going to think of?
I'm gonna think of you.
These faces, and then there'll be a horrific crash.
This puss.
See, for me it's a little different. I just immediately escalate full. I immediately put it in park, shut the car off, open the door, stand there, and go like this.
Wow. Yeah, you
Go ahead.
Wow.
Yeah, let me tell you
Obviously, I
something.
can't go because I'm not even
You're
in the
very
car.
similar to
Wow.
Christine. My wife Christine is like that. She really doesn't take much on the road.
Right.
She's really, you know, I would never do that. Even if I was totally in the
Well,
right,
I actually-
I'd be a nervous wreck. to
Dude,
do
I did that. I did that the other day, and
Never.
actually, I wasn't trying to start a fight. I was just trying to. This guy's beeping like crazy behind me, you know, and he wants to get into a parking lot, and I'm dropping my kids off in that parking lot. I can't get into the parking lot
Right.
because it's Queens.
And you have kids in the
It's
car.
bonkers. It's a circus in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So I'm dropping them off in the safest place I can, so they can get to the sidewalk, so they're not dead.
Right.
Right.
And that happens.
And then this
Which
guy's
is
beeping
nice of you.
Which is
Well, he's their father.
yeah, you know.
Well, yeah.
They'll find me if I leave them dead. So,
Right.
so I get out of the
They have
car,
cameras
and
these
you know, I'm not trying to start a fight with the guy. I just stand there to say, if you're going to run my kids over, you got to run me over first.
Oh, what did
You
you
know,
do?
I didn't say anything. I just stood there.
Wow.
And he starts to fight with me. He's trying to start a fight with me. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to get you." Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but you're a big dude. I don't know if you
And I'm just looking at him like,
Yeah.
really?
Right?
Was it the Bagel Boss guy?
Yeah.
I didn't even say anything to him. I didn't even say anything. I just looked at him like, really? And the kids, once the kids are safe, he's still talking. I'm like, whatever. You get in the back of the car and drive away. Because who who cares, right?
Yeah, the ridiculousness of people.
Yeah, it's true, and that's the nonsensicals that we talk about.
It's fuel for our show.
So I would say I would not recommend getting out of your car, because if you can't laugh at someone who's insulting you,
I would not get out of the car.
Yeah, because they will try to start a fight with you. And he started trying to fight with me.
But
I'm like,
you
I'm
get out of your
Sasquatch,
car,
dude.
You get out of your car, you're making a statement.
Right.
You know, you're 6 what? 7, 8?
The statement is, you got to run me over first before you can run my kids over. That's
but you're a giant guy. I get out of my car, you get out of your car, it's a little different.
Right.
We like want to run to get back in the car.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't be getting out.
I wouldn't even roll down my window a little bit, let the air out.
Can I help you?
I'm like, I got the air conditioning.
I got to tell you that bit. The guy. I don't want to ruin and spoil your show.
No, please talk about
the show with the guy with the bike lock, talking about
Sal.
the bicycle gang.
Right.
Not bicycle gang.
Bicyclists.
Bicyclists. And all I could think is, what happens when he does that to bikers? On motorcycles.
They kill them. That's what.
And they got chains and
these guys are inventing weapons.
Well, right. But I mean,
remember,
motorcyclists inherently have weapons.
Right.
Just because it's the equipment for your bike.
Yeah, they have chains.
I was blown away by that conversation.
Yeah, and if you would have met
that was phenomenal.
you would
Look
have
that
been
episode
shocked.
up.
Yeah, episode 3.
Not like that, right?
No,
I mean, him in person, but he was very, and he says
people escalate,
he changes,
man.
Yeah.
He changes when he's on his bike.
Right, it was great.
Believe it or not, this is something. This even happens in like the most demure scientists in the computer world. This is just how people are.
Yeah.
I mean, like the absent-minded professor, by the way, is not a stereotype. It's true. There are definitely some scientists out there who are just wandering around with their lab coats on, completely befuddled. But I mean, people will escalate. It doesn't matter what role you are in life. It doesn't matter how many PhDs you have.
That's right.
They just tick, 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 and the adrenaline starts going, and they just stop thinking. So yeah, don't feel so bad.
So what happened?
What happened?
He got back in his car.
The guy. Oh yeah, he just got. I just ignored him. He was just yelling at me, and he didn't follow me or anything.
All right.
I was ready for him to follow.
Right.
My God.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean,
Yeah, Matt's ready to go then. He's like, at that point, I'm ready to go.
You're ready to follow.
Especially when the kids are involved.
I was ready.
That takes you to another level.
The kids are out. They're safe.
Right.
They're
I know, but they were
Taekwondo, so
involved.
good luck going up there and getting them. Right. That'd be like out of a karate movie, right? The whole school attacks him.
Yeah.
Right. So like the kids are safe, and I pull in a parking lot, and he just goes his own way because he's like he was expecting me to give him the finger and call him names, and I was like,
no,
whatever.
not going to happen.
Not gonna happen. I don't care about you.
That was nice. So you were the bigger man.
No, I just didn't care about him.
Yeah.
I wasn't the bigger man. I guess I was the bigger man, wasn't I? Right?
Did the guy look like this? And was he in a silver Chevy?
No.
Don't give up my spot. I'm only in Queens once a week. Come on.
Wow, we've got nothing done.
Yeah, we
I
got
love
nothing
it.
done.
It's
I know.
Beautiful.
I'm sorry about
No, it's beautiful. I love it. So I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you guys still have landline phones? And when they ring, do you answer them?
Mike? You want to go?
I do have a landline phone.
Yes.
And most of the time I do not. And it's, you see, first of all, you see the number on the television now, right? So
Right.
Yes.
See what it is. But here's what the sneakiest thing they've done this for a while, but now what they'll do is they'll take a number that is similar to one in my town. Mm-hmm. Right? Like
that you might recognize.
516 blank blank, whatever, but the first three numbers will be the same.
Right.
So that you always shouldn't I? You know what I mean? But
Right.
I would say very rarely do I, and if I do, it's only to mess with the people on the other end.
Right.
That's because I know that it's a telemarketer or Big Brothers of Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those two pieces. So a telemarketer, some bogus police commissioner looking for money, right?
Right.
Oh, right. Oh,
What's a telemarketer?
Everyone's always
Yeah,
telemarketer.
I don't know why
Did
we
you
have
see
a
that news
landline.
story? They found the Nigerian stash.
Oh,
There was one prince out there trying to warn everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Anyway.
Amazing. But yeah, I do.
Look for that picture. It's funny.
I do have a landline, and I always say, if we ever lose power, we'll have a landline.
Right.
I'm like, well, idiot. What do
doesn't
you
work.
think it works on?
Yeah.
Once the charge is gone, just like your cell phone, it's not going to work either.
we have a landline, but I never ever answer it. I mean, we keep the machine on or the voicemail, but it's
Right.
everything we delete. It's right.
No, Matt still has an old school telephone
Yeah.
like this.
It's funny,
You
like,
call
yeah,
Matt,
yeah,
he's like,
whenever you-
Hey, hello, what are you doing over there? See? Cincinnati,
freak up, I can't. Yeah. That guy's a
I'll take
tin cup.
Bensonhurst 3, 9292.
Right, we live like 12 miles apart and we have tin cans connected by string. Right.
Actually, we wanted to get rid of the landline, right? But we couldn't. They charge you more to get rid of it. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
they charge you a surcharge to get rid of the landline.
Right.
It costs you more to not have it.
Right.
Yeah, and actually that created a billing problem for me at one of my jobs where they wouldn't give me my full internet reimbursement. They had did internet because we work in IT. You need to be able to log in to work. So because Verizon had tied my phone number to my because that's just how they track it.
Yeah,
it's like they use it like a social security number.
Right, it is like a social security number.
This is completely useless. Why do I have a phone? They're phone heads. They're addicted to phones. Anyway,
Do you have a landline?
I do have a landline. No, I don't answer.
You don't
it.
answer.
Right.
Yeah. But you have it just.
It was free. I mean, I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll get sign up and have it for free, and then like
No one
Not only do I have a landline, but I
it's
have
worse than useless. It's annoying.
Not only that, but I have 4 spread throughout the house because when we still had landlines
Yeah,
all
me
the
too.
time,
I have 4.
I still have the same phones, right? And there's one in my room, there's one in the basement, there's one in the.
Yeah, I just
so stupid.
I had it just so I could teach my kids 911, just because.
Yeah, no, my
before
kids
they had
use it
cell phones.
like before they had, like if we leave for a second, my daughter's home, she's 10, and we go down this, she'll hold that cordless phone.
Right.
Same thing.
But we talked about cell phones, but even now when your cell phone rings that someone's calling you and it's not a telemarketer or not Matt's wife, you get extremely worried. Like I know when Matt's wife calls. I know when Matt's wife calls me, everything's fine. But if it's anyone else, right? Your first thought is, oh no, something's wrong.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Right? So we were talking about we had hashtag bring back the phone call was something we were promoting on
No
one
one
of our
wants to call
episodes
anymore.
because we're like, pick up the phone instead of complaining about
So
it.
do you
pick up the
guys
phone.
text or call first?
We do both, but we talk. We have to talk. I have to talk.
We
Tim.
do talk a lot, yeah.
I mean, texting is okay, but I need to talk to him.
I usually have to text people now before I call them. Like, is it okay to call you?
Oh yeah, but we did that.
Texting that ask permission to call.
Right.
Right, it's true. Are you free to talk?
Right.
But let me tell you, all the people that called my landline are all passed away. All my aunts or
And they're
whatever.
still calling.
Yeah, they're not. My aunt calls. Yeah, they're all gone. They're all gone. So no one calls anymore except the IRS or whatever that is.
Yeah. So
They even still bring us
they're
phone
just getting
books.
calls from beyond at this point.
Right, like the Twilight Zone. That was a weird one.
Yeah. Aunt Lorraine,
That one, yeah.
what are you doing?
Well, you've been dead for 20 years.
Nice. So iPhone or Android? What do you guys think?
I'm an Android guy.
So am I.
Yeah. Android. Yeah.
I'm surprised you're an Android guy.
Always been
I'm
an Android guy. I don't like the iPhones, man. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've always had an Android.
iPhone or Android?
Android, of course.
Really?
Well, Androids are Linux.
Yeah, because you hate
What?
Apple,
Androids,
right?
Linux is nice stuff.
You guys realize you're Linux users, right?
What's that mean?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, hey now.
Android is
You got that right. We are. We sure are Linux users.
I wouldn't do anything.
Linux is an open source operating system that everyone was mocking in the 90s.
Oh, I thought it was a denture cream.
And written by Linus Torvalds, who also, by the way, wrote Git, which is the code management software that everyone in the industry uses. This guy's like 10 Nobel Prize
He's like a
laureates
genius.
built into one.
Genius.
And it's all stuff that he does for the public.
Still
it's not
alive.
Like, yeah, he's young. He's my age. He's a few years older.
That's the other thing about these tech people.
Yeah.
They're very young.
They have to be.
They have to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of ageism in IT.
Well, not Bill Gates is not young.
And it's starting to change. Ageism is starting to get better, but yeah, especially when I was started in this field, there's a ton of ageism. If you were over 35, get out.
Yeah.
I think to some extent in tech, my company serves a lot of tech companies. I still see that a little bit. I mean, I do. I see that
Because the hours, right, that you generally have to put in are tremendous, and the tech is still changing. So,
If you really know what you're doing, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you can leverage it. They just don't want to pay.
Right, they don't want to pay.
They don't want to pay. They want to abuse someone and keep them at the edge of their sanity.
Are you a Bill Gates fan?
Well, so it's interesting. So Bill Gates had a philosophy. There's actually a philosophy behind Microsoft that's contrary to Linux. So Linux is open source, right? And Linux is under a license called the GPL, and the GPL is a license, a contract written by a guy from MIT called Richard Stallman. And right around the same time, Bill Gates is putting in one magazine. He says there's no reason that a programmer shouldn't get paid.
Right.
And at the same time, you have Richard Stallman putting in a different publication. Why does our code have to suck so bad just so someone can get paid?
Right.
So you have these two kind of contrary, and of course Richard Stallman went nowhere where Microsoft was growing into this monster during the 80s.
Right.
But then in 91, Linus picked it up for the Linux operating system, and that started going crazy. And right around the mid 90s, it started flipping.
Interesting.
And Linux is everywhere. Everything runs Linux. You have Linux in your
I never realized
your
that. Did you know
DVR.
you had Linux
you have Linux
everywhere?
in your car.
Who doesn't know they have
you have
Linux
Linux in
everywhere?
your TV. You have Linux on your phone.
Wow.
Plenty of Linux in your mug.
Right. A lot of Linux in here.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That was a penguin
Unfiltered
tear.
Linux.
Unfiltered penguin tears.
I did not realize that. But are you an Apple fan?
So I actually was a very rare sysadmin of Apple servers for a period of time, and Apple's very good.
Because I know a lot of tech guys,
but I'm mainly a Linux fan.
that do not like Apple. It's actually like they don't like the whole idea of Apple.
Well, the company is
Mike hates Apple.
Have you ever been to an Apple
Red
store and
Delicious.
tried to fix something?
I like Red Delicious.
They call themselves geniuses.
Granny
They
Smiths.
literally, their job title is genius in the Apple store.
Really?
The guy, the fix-it tech guys.
Well, they're pretty.
I mean, how much more arrogant can you be?
Fiji.
Right,
I like
that's what I think. Yeah.
Fiji
you know.
apples.
Fiji.
I like those.
I mean, I just like,
pears.
when you go to get your Apple fixed, you go to the Genius Bar.
I go to the
Oh, I
grocery.
didn't know that. I
shit
never
you
had
not.
an
I go to the grocery store. That's where I go.
Me too.
But look at a company like Apple,
Right.
that everyone thought, and we're in that age bracket that we remember. I don't know if Steve remembers because you're a little younger, or a lot younger, 22 years younger. However,
I'm 16.
Are you wearing
Yeah,
a Love Boat shirt?
I'm wearing a Love Boat
That's
shirt.
fucking
Yeah, that's
spectacular.
man.
How did I
Of course
not
it is.
see that
Love Boat.
before?
This
He's
is
wearing a
my-
Love Boat shirt.
The doctor is
my
in.
go-to shirt. But we remember when Apple was doing horribly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was kind of a joke.
I remember
right?
pineapples. Remember that? I never liked pineapples.
I love pineapple. Don't get me started on pineapple.
Apple was
But
terrible.
The company, right? We thought it was a joke. We thought it was out of business.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
It almost was.
Yeah.
Remember those neon computers? Right
Yeah.
there?
Well, it was just not.
That the first Mac was.
Well, they bailed on jobs. They fired jobs.
Right,
and
right.
They were just, and they had a kind of like a soulless CEO corporate structure for a while, and they were mostly interested in just keeping the contracts they had with schools open. So it was like the education computer, but nobody used it for anything else.
Right.
And eventually they realized, all right, we're not growing fast enough to keep up with Microsoft
yeah,
and
they
IBM.
were kind of like you were afterthought. Apple.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
then they brought jobs back, and then
the iPad.
a lot of those
what was
good
it,
ideas were his.
What was it? What's the music thing?
I don't know, but why don't you ever have a mixed drink using apple juice?
I don't know. Can you have? Is that a hot toddy? Is
I
apple
don't-
juice?
Is it because fermented apples taste weird? Is it
No, like apple juice. Why don't you mix anything with
I'm not
apples?
a big fan
Like,
of
you know, a screwdriver you have with orange juice. You know,
Well,
pineapple,
you-
cranberry, these are good mixers, but why not?
You know,
apple
like
juice?
what if you
That's
like
a good question.
what if I think when you like have like a tequila sunrise or something, or like, you know, like let's say you have a screwdriver, right?
Tequila
Just to
sunrise.
make it simple, you have a
Right.
screwdriver, right? It's the fantasy of what if oranges could ferment into alcohol for me, just for me, you know, right? I think
No,
it's
for
that
me, it
fantasy.
doesn't freaking taste
But
good.
for some reason, apples, I don't have that fantasy.
Why not?
I don't
What
care.
about apple
I
cider?
don't know.
What about
You're
some
right.
rum?
You're totally right.
What
Yeah,
about
apple
some
cider?
Apple
right?
cider.
You got any rum and apple juice around here?
Right.
Next, if we come back,
Yeah.
we're gonna have some
gonna
rum and some
try
apple
some
juice. We'll make apple juice as a
juice.
mixer.
All right.
And try different. We'll try all five
This
of the
is
major
going to be
liquors
interesting
with apple juice.
projectile vomiting on the Technocrat Live. Whoa, that's great.
I have some bad memories about Goldschlager.
yeah.
Goldschlager
my
with
God,
that. Yeah,
don't get us
that's
started
a
on
different
that.
show altogether. That's a ballgame of a different color. See. So apples, good mixer, not a great computer. At the time.
But now a great computer.
Now a great computer.
Imagine if we had Apple stock.
Well,
You
yeah.
probably did. But when
I
we had
didn't.
Apple stock, you didn't.
I didn't. My dream trade, like forget about tech for a second.
Right.
My dream trade finance-wise is to just buy and hold Microsoft from like 81 on or 82
Yeah.
on or whatever they went public. I
We'll
forget.
go back with Matt when he goes home tonight, because Matt's going back to
I'll take you back to-
1972.
I have a get-rich-quick scheme for you.
Yeah.
He's going to get that sports almanac. You can swing through 81 on the way home.
I'm going to be fried from Futurama. I'm going to be a
future is
trillionaire with no skills whatsoever.
Encyclopedias are the way to go. Well, I also read an interesting article. You know, Sears is really in bankruptcy now and doing very poorly and closing most of the stores.
Right,
And you
they're
know,
done.
Amazon, right, kind of rolled past Sears and changed the way we shopped and everything. But you know, Sears, and Steve, you could probably fact check that too. I was the first one.
You need an intern, Matt.
Yeah, I need to get a production staff, damn it. But they were the first one to have.
Why do you
the
invite
catalog.
yourself to be wrong?
Sorry, Steve.
No, they were the first one to have the catalog.
Steve's gonna kneecap
and
me
they
in the parking lot
passed
later.
on the software that was Amazon.
Is that right?
Yeah, they passed on the CEO at the time passed on the software because they had the Amazon of years ago, which was the Sears catalog.
Right.
That was Amazon for many, many years.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were the largest employer in
It
America.
was the only place to buy a wood-burning stove.
Anything. Clothes. So
or your long undies.
Right. Or your,
Remember that the Christmas catalog came? It was like toilet paper thin.
That was it.
The pages, right?
Man,
and it was at 500 pages.
I could have read that crap for 2 hours.
Right.
It was great. That was like the internet back then.
Yeah, it's
It
exactly
really
right.
was.
That's the point.
That was like going on Amazon and just like,
that's the point.
maybe you'll like,
Yeah.
maybe you'll like, maybe you'll like, maybe you'll like, and then you end up someplace really strange.
And nobody could hack
How did I
it.
get here?
Right.
You call the lady.
And it was hacker-proof. It was Russian-proof.
You call the lady on the phone and say, "Give me 4 of 7324643." I'm like, "Are those like the He-Man tidy whities?" Yes, give me 3. Right.
Well, I used to do my Christmas list that way as a kid. I remember.
Right, yeah.
Catalog, then narrowing it down to like 10 things.
Right.
And then narrowing it down from that, it was like, now you do that online.
So I usually do this shtick with whoever I've got on here. I just wanted to point out that this is a page and a half of ideas just for these guys. Never mind the usual ideas that we could have hit, and we are there.
Yeah.
We are freaking there.
We haven't even finished the intro yet.
We haven't even finished the intro. We're barely out of the intro, man.
Right. We're still in the intro.
It's awesome. You guys are really fun.
Well,
So-
thanks,
Thanks,
you.
man,
You
thanks.
guys
I
are
mean, all
great.
you have to do is just talk about how you see the world, and
we appreciate it.
and I appreciate having a new perspective on here. And we're usually pretty. It can get pretty heavy. We're talking about what if people become cyborg.
That's my question.
Yeah.
That's the question. We were talking about that, right? What if people, do you think, because I've asked people that we both know who are really technologically advanced, right? And I've asked them, I was talking to Mike about this. In your opinion, is this AI, as serious as people say? And they say to me,
It's not yet.
It will be, though. They say it's
AI
very dangerous.
Cyborgs and AI
Robots.
are different things. So AI is when you can have
Isn't it?
a program. So this happens all the time in the movies.
I
where they
think Matt is
conflate
talking
AI
about a
and press.
cyclops,
Yes,
by the way.
I'm talking about
I think he's
robots and
misspeaking. And he's saying, can't people turn into cyclopses? Right? I think that's what he's
Mythical
talking
creatures
That's
from
where
ancient
he's going.
Greece. That's all we're talking
If
about.
my face fell off right now and there was all wires sticking out.
Right,
Would
right.
that not freak out our YouTube audience?
That would be spectacular.
We can make that happen.
Yeah,
It'd be
That would be a good.
fantastic. I'm sorry.
You should do that on every show.
Yeah, I
you could do that.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
No, but
All right.
But
Cyclops.
are you scared
Cyclops.
of
Here we
them?
go.
I'm scared
Cyclops?
of these robots.
I would be petrified of a cyclops.
You've seen
Guaranteed.
Terminator.
Yes.
I am. I think is that a serious threat?
Yeah. All right. So we have AI, right? Which
a
we're
great movie.
nowhere near having true artificial intelligence. When you hear AI in the news, just take the word AI, throw it in the trash, and put in machine learning.
Okay.
Most of the time, what that means is that someone is taking a list like this, but 8,000 times longer, just huge lists of data, like that find the stop sign thing,
Right,
like that they make you do on some web pages. That millions and millions and millions of times, and they just throw randomly written bots at it, and the one that finds the stop sign the most times is the winner for the day.
So they're not going to take over.
They're not going to take over yet.
Yet. See, that's the caveat.
Come on.
See that? Yet.
So no, there's a totally credible. And this is computer scientists take this really seriously.
I know,
There's
I'm
the
telling
risk
you,
of
I
something
read about
called
it.
the singularity, and the idea
God,
is
that's
frightening.
It looks like this.
one eye.
Yeah.
One eye. See?
Dun, dun, dun.
It is Cyclops. Singularity. Right. Singular optics.
There's only one part of me that's got one eye.
Whoa, look at that. Working blue. Wow.
Look what happens.
Right out of the box.
Give him
I
a
was
beer.
talking about here, guys. No, okay, yeah.
Give him a beer and see what happens.
Right.
So it's funny. I've drank half a bottle of wine on the show, and I've never been quite like this before. So there's something
what
called
is singularity?
The singularity is the idea that if you write a legitimate artificial intelligence, something that can learn how to solve problems in general better for itself,
Okay.
that you're writing a better and better general problem solver, not a stop sign problem solver,
Okay.
not a road line problem solver, not a sort your mail better problem solver, but a problem solver for all problems. That's what humans are. We're problem solvers for all
Right.
problems. That it will, if you write one that's actually more intelligent than the most intelligent human, that there's no stopping it anymore. That it can literally outwit its
This
captors.
is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but they have no emotion.
Well, who cares? They'll kill you.
Well, they may not kill you actually. So
Why? What form would they take?
Well,
build
if it's smart
do they
enough.
build themselves like out of
Yes.
just a piece of fog? They just put themselves together? Is this what happens?
No, but
right? Like, oh look, there's some AI.
You know,
and all
they
of a sudden
made some
there's a
movies about this.
12-foot robot cyclops staring at me, right?
level with me right now.
Learning what I do and how I move, becoming me, like a shapeshifter. Right? Is that where we're
Coming
headed?
out. I saw the preview for that recently. There's a new one coming out with both of them. Schwarzenegger and what's her name? Hamilton. It's
Right,
gonna
right.
look good. But
Dorothy Hamilton?
yeah, Dorothy Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm excited about her coming back.
amazing.
Level with me
Amazing.
seriously.
That was
Is Steve a robot?
Steve is not a robot, although he has some cybernetic implants.
Oh, well, now
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve is
And I'll let him talk
intelligence.
about that. I don't want to spoil too much, so I'll let him
So
talk
those
about
are
that.
not eyes.
He's smiling.
You talk about your implants on your own show, dude.
Me,
Yeah.
me, a cyborg.
Matt's got implants too.
Oh my God, I got implants right here.
You and Matt could talk about your implants together someday.
I need a transplant at the rate I'm going. So
Yeah,
but
the
it could
singularity is a
happen, though.
real threat. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
see,
it's a,
see?
But wait,
I'm not saying it's
how
something
long are we
can't
talking?
manage. I'm just saying that we could manage to avoid getting into that situation.
Well, how do
in
we
the first
avoid
place.
it?
Well, this is something Isaac Asimov spent his whole career talking about,
I told
which is the 3 laws of robotics, which is you just cannot break these rules and do
What are
harm
the
to
3
humans.
laws of robotics?
You can't do harm to humans. You can't let harm come to humans through inaction, and you can't. There was something else. I don't know. The third rule.
And you can't build robots. How about that?
Now,
And you
Right.
can't build robots that hurt you.
It's like Big Hero 6. Right?
Yeah, it might be that. I don't remember what the third
Well,
one was.
that's
They
pretty cool.
eventually added a zeroth rule too, but the idea behind all of them
A
is you
what
can't-
rule?
A zeroth rule too.
Zeroth.
Yeah, so there's 4 rules and it started at 0 because most computer stuff starts like that.
Oh, I
It was a
didn't
clever
remember that.
computer
But when they
science
added
show, like,
another-
computer science.
When they added another one, why didn't they make it 3?
Because it's computer geeks, man.
like
Why?
there's
You
no
start
zero.
counting at 0.
I'm going to use zeroth.
Nothing is a number 2.
I'm going to use zeroth.
Interesting. So, how much time? Mike was asking this, right? How much time do we have before the singularity takes over?
Like it's,
7 hours.
7 Negative.
we are well.
Wait,
in
wait,
that
wait,
case-
wait.
my car is turning into a
You want my
GoBot.
best conspiracy theory on it?
Yeah.
So negative 10 years. It's already taken over.
Negative 10 years.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's already in charge. It's already out there and making decisions and plotting to keep itself alive and perpetuated.
So my car's going
Yeah.
to be a GoBot when we go
Because
back
if
to
you
it.
look at if you look at the hardware requirements, so there's 2 possibilities. One is that it's an intractably hard problem to create intelligence, and that it's 50 years out. The other one is that it wasn't a particularly hard problem; it was just a matter of having the hardware. We're at the hardware already. Computers are as fast as our brains. It's just
They're
a matter
faster, aren't they?
It's a matter of having the right, especially if you start clustering them together and using them as one big computer. Like all the big tech companies do this. So. And so you can have like a building, like this whole building. It's a fairly large building for
Right,
people who
it's a
don't know.
big building.
It's a big building filled with computers, and each one of those, and every one of those can contribute to solving the same problem. They can almost be like brain cells.
Right.
You can almost use it like an autonomous like that. So you could, once we got to the point where the bus speed of computers talking to each other hit a certain point, which was around 2010. You could theoretically
So
have a
you're
computer
saying
that was
we're
smarter
10
than a
years
person.
into the
We
issue.
could be
already.
theoretically 10. Now, who knows, right? But it's possible.
Wow.
It is technically possible that we're already in the singularity.
See that?
And obviously,
get me
it's
a Cyclops.
decent, at least it's
This is
decently
scary.
friendly because we're not dead, right? It didn't sick Terminators on us.
Can this robot make a great cup of coffee? That's what I want to know.
Yes,
I don't care what it does. It can take over, but what can it do? Can it vacuum?
Right.
So
Is it like the girl from the
here's how it
Jetsons?
would
What was
work.
her name?
Rosie the robot.
Rosie the robot,
That's
right.
what I'm looking for.
If this thing is loose on the internet, what would probably happen is it would be mostly concerned with keeping the internet up. Making sure the internet stays on all the time. Because remember, it has access to multiple
That's
computer
the
banks
underbelly.
that it can use as its brain.
Yeah, I
so
think that
it
stuff
would
is
want peace.
fascinating.
It would want stability. It would want a good power grid. It probably would want economic stability.
Yeah, but if we shut the power off,
Seems like we just have to unplug the internet and the problem is solved.
right?
Yeah.
But if we shut the power off, they can't
And
kill
now
us.
there's 400,000 people waiting outside Google headquarters.
Hey.
Sorry.
and for your money, Matt, the most progressive with it tech company out there today is who?
It's not a company at all. It's the model of open source people contributing
Right.
problem solving solutions to.
Okay.
because
So it's not Google,
remember what I
it's
said
not-
about how Linux is running on everything?
Right.
Open source people.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't Google that did that. It wasn't Apple. It wasn't any of those guys. The
Well-
thing that we're all using in everything a bunch of guys just got together and said, let's build this thing.
Well,
and
look
they
at
did
the
it.
Fortune 500 companies. They're all, the
I mean,
major
it's not
companies
that
are
there isn't
all
money
tech
to be
companies.
made. There's lots of money to be made, and some companies are better behaved than others. I think Elon Musk isn't bad.
Oh,
I
you're an
don't
Elon
think
Musk
he's evil.
fan?
I don't think he. No, I don't think
Yeah.
he's evil.
Yeah, I don't think he's evil.
A lot
People
of
think he's evil?
the other
I don't know.
a lot of the other big tech companies are evil. Like, I think
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Elon Musk is Tesla's.
I know Elon Musk. That's the first thing I said. He's real.
Yeah.
Not a cyclops.
Right, not a
Not
robot,
artificial.
Not that we know.
No.
Not that
He could be a robot.
we know. Could be a robot.
Maybe that's why he doesn't seem evil. Yeah.
Right.
He seems great.
He's really good. His whole
Yeah.
program's dedicated to not seeming evil.
Right. He goes home and takes his face off. He just wires
I mean,
under there.
come on. Have you ever seen any video of Zuckerberg from Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really like he's
looks
like a
like a
robot.
robot.
He's a freaking robot,
They all
dude.
dress like robots too.
I would not be surprised if his face
wear a
fell off
black
and there were
shirt.
wires.
You'd wear, right,
You wear
you
the
look
same
like
clothes
robots.
every day.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't he do that? He has like a closet full of the same clothes.
It's like these guys want to look like. I don't understand.
Like 50 pair of the same jeans, 50 of the same shirt to wear the same thing every
you
single
are
day.
the richest man in the world. Buy a pair of slacks.
Right, do
Would
something.
it kill him?
Well, I agree. I don't get it
But
either.
that's their shtick. Like what Steve Jobs. was
yeah,
the same
but I
thing.
mean-
he always wore.
I mean, at
jeans
least
and a black.
I might always
mom
wear the
jeans.
same
He looked
shirt,
like
but at
Billy
least have
Joel.
different colors.
Right, yeah. Steve Jobs wore mom jeans,
Yeah,
didn't he?
right. Well, mom, he looked like
Right.
a robot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little creepy, right?
What about the new guy who's in charge of Apple? You like him, Tim Cook?
Yeah, he's alright.
I like him. I do like him.
Well, I like him personally. I mean,
I like him
he
better
wouldn't
than
be good at his
Jobs.
job if we didn't like him.
Jobs was I saw that
was a
movie.
lunatic,
Did you see that
but
movie
he
with
was
Steve
brilliant.
Jobs? He was
I didn't see that
but
one,
He was
no.
like not a great guy though. I mean, he was a brilliant guy, but he
Yeah.
wasn't a great guy. I mean, he was so focused on what he was doing.
Right.
Everyone else kind of fell to the wayside.
Well, there's so much competition in the field. A lot of people turn into total jerks when they actually get into the competition. You know?
Yeah, but Bill Gates doesn't seem like a jerk to me. Is he a jerk? Right?
No, he's a nerd.
I never
He's
met
a, no,
him.
but you know what I mean.
Apparently,
he
in
doesn't
the
seem like
early,
a jerk, right? Like an
the
evil
word is
guy.
in the early days, in the '80s, he smelled.
Really?
Yeah, he would like get BO. He wouldn't take a shower for 3 days. It
Well,
would bother
that
people.
happens to the best of us.
But
Oh, man, you leave
but
the laundry
that's
in
something
for
a
too
robot
long, you know?
does,
Like-
right? You know,
he couldn't
robots
figure out
don't
to work his
smell.
washing machine, but he
Right.
can figure out everything else.
Right. But I mean, yeah, I agree. He's probably a real human. You know?
Yeah, you know what I mean? He seems more real than...
Not robot.
Well, look what he's
Not
doing.
robot.
He's donating all his money
Microsoft
to
was-
charity. Could you believe all his fortune?
Right.
Or most of it.
$10 million.
Except for 10 million. Could you believe
All
that?
his fortune except for $10
Well,
million.
10 million is nothing.
What is he worth?
He has no children.
What is he worth?
What's he worth?
What does he have,
He's the
children?
richest
Does he have
guy in the
children?
world.
All right, Google is
Yeah, he's billions. Billions.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So you don't have to look. It's fine.
For the record, Steve, I have not asked for one thing from
Right.
you today.
I haven't really. That was not me. That doesn't count. I didn't really ask you.
$3.4 billion.
What?
$103.4 billion.
Can you believe that?
I can. Yeah.
And a billion.
That's gonna make a
is
lot of
100
robots.
million.
Because you know what? Because
Oh, it's 10
when he-
million.
He was right.
100 million?
It was 1,000 million. What is
That's
a
more
billion?
money than there is in the
It's a
entire
million
world.
million, isn't it?
Wait. What's $1 billion?
Wait, isn't it a million million?
No.
1,000 millions.
1,000. Yeah.
1,000
million is a billion.
millions, and he's worth 100 billion of those.
1,000 millions is a
He's
billion.
worth 100.
Yeah. Could you?
So is it 3,000 millions is a trillion?
No.
No,
What's a
1,000
trillion?
billions is a trillion.
300,000.
300,000 is a trillion.
Wow.
This is rich, man.
Well, no, that would out of our league.
We've been saying billion this whole time, not even knowing what we're talking
Right,
about.
we're
not even knowing how much
Nobody
money we're
knows
actually
what a
talking
billion
about.
is.
Well, now everybody
No,
that's watching your show
Well,
does.
no, human
It's all
beings.
paper.
No. But I mean, seriously, human beings don't know what a billion is. We cannot.
Millions is a trillion.
A million millions.
Is a trillion.
So I was a few letters off.
The Polynesians had before Western civilization encountered them had a counting. Their number line went like this: 1, 2, 3, many.
Really?
Yeah, because that's how people think.
Yeah, you don't
can't-
think over a certain amount. I
You
mean,
can't
it's beyond
really
our
imagine $1 billion.
comprehension. Yeah, I can't imagine. Mike can imagine it, but I can't imagine
I'd
it.
love to imagine it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but, you know.
I can kind of imagine $1 million, and I mean,
I can imagine
just
$1 million.
the
No, I
course
can imagine $1
of
million.
living in New York and having jobs here and just living a normal
Yeah, you
life.
could see yourself-
Millions
yeah.
of dollars have passed through my hands, and it boggles my mind every
Right.
time I think about it. I'm like,
Right, yeah, that is crazy.
what happened?
Yeah. Where did it all go? We just held on to each one of those at some point.
Right. apparently you needed to save your 10,000s, not your pennies.
Yeah,
you know.
20%.
Yeah.
So you know what? Can I shift gears here and ask you something real quick about the show?
Let's do it.
Shoot.
Because it's what's been I've been curious about.
Go.
You
Hit me,
choose
man.
to go live instead of edited and recorded.
Right.
We are obviously edited and recorded, and we have done we did a Facebook Live for one of our episodes.
Yeah, we are heavily recorded.
Right, and we're interested in at some point maybe doing some
And
more
you guys
live
are great
things.
live, by the way. I think you've
Thank
been
you.
awesome.
Thank
I don't know
you.
if you were nervous about tonight, but you've been spot on,
Oh, thank you.
smooth, rolling forward.
Mike makes me relaxed.
Yeah.
I do. Well,
It's that mug. It's having an effect on your
that's
personality.
exactly what it is. Right.
I so badly, you have no idea how badly we want to do. I want to do a spit take.
The poor guy's trying to be serious.
No, you know how badly I want you to smash that into that brick wall.
No, but every time I drink out of this, I want to be like, I want to do a spit take.
You got to do a spit
It's
take
a
before we
perfect one
leave.
for a spit take.
You have to. But Matt, why do you choose to go live as opposed to?
So
Edited and
there's a few different reasons. So I could go the humanist reason, I could go the technical reason, I could go also the lazy reason. So which would you
Lazy.
here first? Lazy.
Start with the lazy
The lazy one is no editing. Fuck it.
Right.
Right. You
Yeah.
know, it's out.
It
That's
goes.
it. Everybody
Yeah.
sees it.
Right.
You know, I've had a ton of technical speech experience because of Lilug
Right.
in front of people. So I'm used to being able to talk about something fairly technical and not botch it up too bad in
Right.
front of a crowd. So I don't care.
Right.
I can I can hear the audience in my head now
Okay.
just because I've been doing it so long. So it doesn't bother me. Like I could tell when you guys hear the audience.
And if there's any psychologist listening, if you
But-
heard that,
yeah.
feel free to diagnose.
Yeah.
He's hearing,
Dr. Joyce Brothers.
he's hearing all of you in his head right now.
It's an audience of
Yeah.
one.
Your wife listening right now going, I knew it. I knew it. He heard her voice of that son of a...
Well, writing is
I've been
like
saying for years, you're hearing voices.
Totally serious writing is like this too. I wrote a book. I wrote a sci-fi book.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and when you write, as your book goes on, as your books or your stories go on, the characters will
take on their own lives. I've heard
li-
that.
It's fucking
Yeah,
bonkers.
I've heard that.
It is bonkers. I literally heard one of the characters in my book go, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Wow.
But it was just while writing, not while driving in traffic.
Just
or
for
anything.
argument's sake, are you drinking out of this mug at all?
That's my favorite mug.
I just want to know.
Matt
now.
is-
It's
By the way, I
okay.
never
It's all
wash
right.
it too.
Matt, it's time we tell you. You are a character in one of Matt's stories that he's written.
Oh my God.
You don't really
Twilight
exist.
Zone.
You are a character in one of his stories.
No.
We just
We're all a
have to
character
drink-
in the singularity
Yeah.
story.
I
Oh
do-
boy.
I do feel like honestly, sometimes I do feel that way. I would often feel like a character in a story. I
Yeah.
do.
So the
Don't
la-
you feel that way?
I feel you are that way too.
The lazy thing is, and I'm sure you'll appreciate it, is fuck editing.
That's nice. That's
So
a nice
that's the
thing.
reason.
That's one of the reasons.
Okay, what's the second reason?
So the technical reason is, that I really think we're getting into. So we just had a thing. Someone just played a thing in Lilug. They actually played the audio from this. Someone has written machine learning, not AI, that can imitate someone's voice and mannerisms to
Like
the
a
point
Rich
you can
Little.
put any voice
like it.
print in there, and its decision making is advanced enough that it can actually make dinner reservations for you on the
Now
phone.
we're talking.
Ooh, I like this. Let's
Can
get,
I make that reservation? That's
right.
Ronald Reagan.
get me a machine learning
Well,
thing in here right
what?
now, please.
Computer.
I still can't hear you, Steve, sir.
Google, I think, did it. They did it with their.
Yeah, it was Google, yeah.
Oh.
Google did it. So, and there's more coming. I mean, this is just the beginning.
Hey Google,
Yeah.
please schedule Matt's niece's nephew's bris for tomorrow at 2 a.m.
I'll take dinner for two at Shea Wendy.
Right, Shea Wendy.
That's exactly what it does, and it works.
Right.
Yeah, but doesn't Siri
It
do that?
fools the person on the other side of the. Yeah, but when you
Oh,
hear,
it
when you're
imitates
talking-
your voice.
No, but I mean, it imitates a normal human being's voice so well that the person's not in on this. They don't know. It's
Oh,
Google
like they think
calling.
it's just a person
They think it's a
calling.
person.
It doesn't sound
calling.
robotic.
It is passing the Turing test. Oh. There's a test for humanity in
Right.
artificial intelligence.
I'm just thinking
So-
of Cameron and Ferris
Now,
Bueller's
this
to take
is-
you off.
now remember, it's doing this real time because it's a conversation, so it's going back and forth, and so it has to be able to continue the conversation with the maitre d' on the other side of the phone.
Wow.
So when you think about that,
Do you want a table for two?
I would like a table for two.
yeah, Yeah, it is not doing that. That would be what I would expect. See, I would just talk to it.
Is this a special?
I am not familiar with your accent.
Can I please schedule an oil change for tomorrow at 4?
Wow, you really sound like a person. Sure, what kind of car do you have?
I have a Cyclops.
Oh, sure, we'll see you tomorrow.
Jetpack.
What's your name?
Not a human.
Okay, not a human. We'll see you tomorrow.
That's what I'm expecting.
Well, that was like my friend Jay, who used to remember the Columbia House?
Oh, sure, the Columbia House.
Columbia House orders we all used to do. You
get
11
tapes and
CDs for a
everything,
penny, 12 CDs, tapes, right, even before that for a penny. When he went to college, his dorm would always make up fake names and get a million CDs for free because they couldn't go and check. So the best name that he ever used was Will Not Pay, right? And Columbia House sent a package of CDs to Will Not Pay.
How did they stay in business? That
They
Columbia
didn't.
House? Right.
That's how.
They gave away 10,000 CDs. For
Anyway, so because robots can imitate your voice, you'd rather be live.
Well, no, because they can because you can do audio and video editing live if you have the money and the equipment.
Right.
The algorithms are there, man.
Right.
I mean, there's already examples out there.
Wow.
So the only way you can know that what you're watching is what the people actually said is if it's live. Right? Edits are lies. Essentially, that's the.
Look at that. That's
Maybe we'll change our name of the podcast. Edits Our Lives podcast.
Well, you see, the good thing
Edits
is,
are
it doesn't
lies,
matter.
robots.
Dude, guys, it totally doesn't matter for you because you guys are just goofing around, right?
Right.
You know, but like,
Now I'm nervous.
we talk about some pretty heavy shit
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah,
you know, sometimes laws and ethics and people what people are responsible
Right,
for and things
right.
like that, and you know, and someone could put words in my mouth.
Right.
I'm not saying. I'm not going to be the target. It's going to be
Right.
a president or something.
Anybody, someone big like could be anything.
No, it's a good
A
answer though. I
CEO,
didn't,
Mike,
something
so
made,
it's actually
right.
a technological reason. Yeah, it's happening, man. So
See that? Who would have known I would have been scared on this show?
Amazing, right?
I can tell some.
the whole show
I have
is
not
scary.
even touched. You should read my book.
But
I haven't even begun to touch.
I'm going to look at that book.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but it is.
Mike was scary.
Back to the original point. It is very liberating. I mean, you wouldn't know because you come, you perform, you go home, and
Yes.
you watch Matlock.
Right.
While I'm
Right,
home,
or Murder,
and
She Wrote.
or Murder She Wrote, right? Whichever is the night of the week. Dynasty at times, I'm sure.
Oh, don't get
right.
me
But that
started.
freedom is probably nice, right? To just walk away and
Right. We were toying with that because Mike does all our editing and producing. It's a
Right,
lot.
it's a pain in the
lot.
ass.
And he's doing it as we're
I'll
going
just
on.
add minor things in, like a title card, and just recompress. I mean, it's also 3 hours, but recompressing a 3-hour video and uploading it to the net.
Well, that's a
and
big
then,
deal, right.
And then it bombs.
Right.
2 hours later, it bombs, and you're like, oh, come on, really? It's just a huge pain in the
Right.
butt.
Right.
So yeah, that way I don't have to.
Wow,
and that's
that's
just that little bit I do. So I can't imagine what you go through.
No, it's a lot of work. He's
You
always
gotta
doing
There's still a
appreciate
part of me that enjoys it, though. There's still a part of me that enjoys it. Like I like, because
Because you're a nerd.
we don't
Nerd
have.
geek.
I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd under there. I
I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
very
It's okay. You can be a nerd.
No, I am.
here.
I've always
He's a
been into that stuff. I
technocrat.
used to do that before everybody was doing the video montages or whatever.
No,
I
he
was
was always
doing those.
ahead of
Right.
that. I mean, honestly, the video montages he used to do, with the pictures, were great.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah, they're fun.
productions. Before anyone really was doing it,
Right.
you were doing that
Right.
stuff. It's true.
Right.
It's true.
But I took
And they were
radio
cool.
classes in college. It was funny.
I
Like
forgot that,
right
right.
back then, like we had a little studio. There was like 6 people in the class.
Have
It
you
was
been on
fun.
the radio? I've done
It was
broadcasting
fun.
on the radio, or-
At Towson on the university radio.
Oh yeah, me too. I've done that.
Yeah, and we
It's
had
fun.
to
It's
right.
a lot of fun.
And like the final was you had to produce this kind of a commercial, this kind of a commercial, that kind. So back then I thought I was being super original. Right? This is a funny story. I thought I was being super original. I was big into wrestling at the time, and I said I'm going to make a commercial for my radio class of the whole Sunday, come to the arena, the whole thing. Right? I did the whole thing. Right? We played them in class. Do you know the first 3 people that went before me started out, Sunday. I kid you not. Everybody the exact same idea, exact same premise, everything for the final. Man, it was the worst.
That is awful.
forgot
It was
they
the
did
worst.
that in school.
That's
That
like when you
explains
show
why
up and you're
have
wearing
an
the same
affinity
dress as
to
someone
it.
else.
But now none of it's relevant.
Right.
Well, that happens constantly.
But none of it's relevant.
Right, especially since we go shopping together.
When the robots take over, we don't have to worry about it.
That they already have.
Yeah, the robots. Look at Steve.
Yeah, well,
Is
you know,
it?
the
We don't know
robots
who's a robot and who's
Yeah,
not.
we don't know.
Yeah. It's like where the Fear the Walking Dead is right
Right.
now. They have radioactive zombies walking around. So if you kill
can't
one,
watch it.
you become radioactive
So what do
yourself.
you do?
Their blood splatters. They're wearing a little pendant that tells
Oh
you.
my God, I can't watch it.
Good show.
That's
Oh wow,
scary.
okay, cool.
It's a
Yeah,
good show.
I heard you talking about it. That was the one that you had a movie recommend section. Is that the
Yeah,
one?
but that wasn't Fear. Yeah, that was my.
Oh, that wasn't Fear.
Right, our
Okay.
buddy Rick.
That was a
is a
different
big
one.
TV head, and he
Okay,
came on.
Fear.
and he
Okay,
did,
I'll check it out.
But no, Fear the Walking Dead. It's this is season 5 already. I
Well,
think.
I never saw it.
But it's the same time as Walking Dead. You know, it's the same apocalypse.
Really?
Right,
Okay,
it's
cool.
a branch off.
Nice.
It's all different people. There are some crossovers.
And it's still
Okay.
good.
I like it. I actually
Right,
like it
right.
a little bit better
I
than the original
love
right
zombie
now.
shows, man. They're a lot of
Yeah, I
fun.
like
yeah,
the
same.
idea of zombies, but they've scared the bejesus
So
out of me.
here's
They
the,
really do. They
Here's the
scare me.
great thing about Apocalypse, right? Any kind of apocalypse show or anything, any apocalypse stuff, Apocalypse bails you out. So this is what people enjoy about it. So anybody who's made bad decisions in their life, which is everyone, right? They're like,
Right.
imagine I never did that thing, right? It's a reboot. Doesn't matter what degrees you have. It
That's
doesn't matter
true.
what
So
job you
life
have.
starts over.
Life starts over.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what
you're one
movie
bad
really
decision away
scares
from.
me? I tell you, I remember I Am Legend with, not the one
Oh,
with
yeah.
Charlton Heston, because there was an original one with Charlton Heston.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Of a different name.
Yeah.
Steve?
Marathon.
No, leave him alone. Leave him alone. But Steve's not here. He left. He went to the bathroom.
The one with, he had to recharge. But it's the one with Will Smith, right?
Yes.
That is a freaky movie.
I didn't see it.
Like, I often think, could that happen? You know, someone comes up with a cure for cancer,
Right.
and it turns everyone into, and kills 3/4 of the population, and the rest of the population turns into crazy zombies. I mean,
Right.
It really was fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, like that story we read about zombie
Well,
pigs.
that's the
Zombie
new
pigs, yeah.
That's the new Planet of the Apes too. Sorry,
of the Apes,
spoilers. We have a 1 month spoiler, so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
had a
right.
chance. You had your chance.
Yeah.
You blew it.
Right.
you
Have
had a
seen
lot of
that?
chances.
Have you seen the new Planet
I
of the
haven't
Apes
seen.
series?
I haven't seen the. Well, I saw the last one. What was it? Rise. What was the last one?
Rise, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
was great.
the series.
Yeah, it was terrific.
The CGI is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is
What
crazy,
a
right?
difference.
And
it
we-
used to be, I'm an ape, you know?
You're not an ape. You're a guy in a mask. No, I'm an ape.
Yeah, the faces, it was like a Disney costume. The lips didn't move, and you were like, what the hell?
My brother watched that show religiously when I was a kid.
Oh, the movie.
The show.
Oh, the show. I forgot
There
about
was a
the
TV show. Yeah, it was on for years.
I liked it. I did like it, but
It's
the
funny.
new ones are unbelievable.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they're unbelievable.
Well, it was like the gorilla
I
costume.
couldn't take the masks. I was like, whatever. I don't care.
Right. I did like
yeah, I
it.
really
But that's
like
what
the
made
new series.
sci-fi cool back
Well,
then.
it was cheesy
You know, it was
fun.
that
Yeah,
kitschy
yeah.
part of it, like that whole cheesy, like
And
you
you
know
had to
somebody in a
believe,
mask.
you
Right,
know?
right.
Yeah. So okay, cool. So that's really why. Also, the good thing about live is you can't take it back.
Right.
Right. So
That's a good thing about it.
You can't take it with you.
You know what?
That's the thing.
Because I never. It's just for me because I never take stuff back.
Right.
I can apologize. I can say it was wrong. I shouldn't have said it. I don't think I've had to do that yet. I'm
Right.
sure it's coming.
Sure.
But at the same time, I think people should just own it. And I think
Yeah.
this actually has to do with the internet. I think we need to start forgiving people more quickly.
Well, now
Because
you really can't do
We find
anything.
everything out.
Right?
Right.
Right. In the past, you did some bad shit. You ran away. It's over.
Yeah. No,
It's not like that anymore.
No, it follows you and it stays with you
Yeah.
forever, no matter how big or
And we
small
got to
you are.
forgive more. We got to forgive more often. So I think the live
And everyone's
forces
not perfect.
forces a culture of.
I feel like there needs to be a
forgiveness.
piano playing or
Right,
something
right.
in the background right now.
Dun, dun,
Some sonata here. Right. Matt, I forgive you, Matt. I forgive you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I forgive myself. So what was your best Luddite moment? Either one of you. I mean,
What's your best Luddite?
Luddite moment
hell
where
is
you
a
just
Luddite
said,
moment?
where you said, screw technology, I'm going camping.
Mike, you tell me what your.
Well, I had this
I'll
one
leave that
Luddite.
to Mike.
I had this one Luddite, but it was way too bright. It was in the corner. Like it didn't illuminate the room like my wife.
The lights we have are just not very good.
I don't really like Luddite.
There was a night that we had way too many Luddites. You remember that?
Don't get me started on that.
Hey, what's a Luddite moment?
the Luddites were basically sabotaging technology.
Oh, okay.
Like just technology.
So what's the best time I sabotage someone's phone?
Well, what's the best time you just said, screw this, I'm out, I'm being Amish on this, I don't want anything to do with this.
All right, now I get it.
Computer geeks do this all the time, by the way. And partly because we know stuff that other people don't. So, we step back and say, I'm not going to get involved in that
Well,
technology.
I guess for me,
That's
while Mike's
dangerous.
thinking, I guess for me,
I'm
it
not
would be
thinking,
the
I'm just
social-
letting you
it would be
answer
the
it.
social media aspect. I mean, we have social media for the podcast and the show, but I don't have any personal. We talked about it earlier, and I think that's where I just said, even though I follow or I look at pages and entertainers I like or whatever, us obviously, but I haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet. I don't have Facebook. I'm only on LinkedIn.
You know what? I mean, honestly, I think that's really reasonable. I got a Twitter account in 2009 and didn't touch it for 8 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had an early Twitter account, and I
Right.
said, I don't care about this.
That's funny.
This is ridiculous.
I went in and out of Twitter for a while too. I also joined in 09.
Wow.
And I went in
10 years ago.
Yeah, and I went on and I came out like gangbusters. And then for a while though, the problem was like, if you weren't a kind of a celebrity or whatnot, like Twitter was almost useless for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
it was very celebrity.
Now I love it. Now it's my favorite medium. Probably for the last 4 or 5 years.
The network effect was working against you. That's what it was. People had these huge social networks, and you just couldn't make a dent. Nobody cared.
Right.
You couldn't make it.
Right. And we talk about it all the time on the show too about where we're gearing now. Like I didn't realize how big Instagram was until we started. Oh, Stitcher, stop with the Stitcher. Jesus, so hung up on the Stitcher.
How about MySpace? Have you heard about MySpace?
I had a MySpace page. I did. They should bring it back.
Oh God!
They should bring it back.
MySpace.
Stitcher. So when is that Afghan going to be ready? Jesus. Yeah, but I think I like the Twitter the most, but I didn't realize how big Instagram was until we had that guy Sal on. You were talking about with the bikes, and he's big on Instagram with his companies.
Yeah. My wife's
Kick
huge
or
on
whatever.
Instagram, and I'm like, what?
And like we put polls up there now in our story.
So I like the idea of it. I really do.
Right, but I'm learning how to use it, and this guy refuses. So
I mean,
now it's just convenient that he's not on.
Now you kind of have to do it because you're trying to promote your show.
There's no choice. There's no way people are going to listen if we're not active on it.
SEO or search engine optimization. Have you heard that before?
Oh yeah, sure.
So
Luddite.
It's like
they had a big album in the '80s.
Yeah.
SEO. You hear my son I Luddite's SEO's album?
Put your Luddite on.
Come back. Wasn't that Luddite?
Right. Luddite me down.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's a good answer. I think you're gonna pass, or any
Mike doesn't pass.
Luddite moments.
I don't know.
No, you know what?
Moment
But
where you just like you said, screw this. I'm gonna go with wood heat or something like crazy like that.
Well, enough for technology.
I'm gonna bicycle everywhere, or
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't
know.
Other than that, I can't think of anything else either. I mean, I make fun of it as a shtick, but I really do. I mean, I hate when people say, and Mike, we've talked about this.
Well, obviously your landline phones, right?
Yeah, well,
we have landline phones.
Landline phones, right? That's a good one.
Yeah.
But I hate when we all the technology. I mean, it is good and bad with everything, but overall, I think it's mostly good.
But see, I think too, I'll have card games with a bunch of guys, and I won't look at my phone the entire time I'm on. So it's not like, I don't know if you consider that a thing or not. We're not putting it in a bin with a note that first person pays the check.
That's a very good point, but I think it has to do with our age too.
It definitely does.
If you were born where you were touchscreening iPads or iPhones from the beginning, it's just normal. It's like part of your brain.
It's very hard to be angry with our kids.
Musk was saying that's what makes us cyborgs. Literally, you have the phone glued to your face.
Well, that's the thing.
It's like almost like you might as well just pin it to one of your eyes.
Oh, hey.
And I think
there's an idea.
just walk around with a phone over one eye.
Like a monocle.
Like some kind of
phone instead.
Really awkward pirate, Arr, I'm checking my Instagram.
Show me Bat-Dad.
Well, I
think some really hip person with bad depth perception.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But I think that for work especially, it's made everything so much easier.
Right.
For me, but there's a double-edged sword because you're always connected, right? Like every email, every text. It's a double-edged sword.
I always made my jobs. So this is the advantage of being a technocrat. So I always made my jobs buy me phones.
Technomat.
Technomat. So being a technomat, I made my jobs buy me phones.
Right.
And then when it was time when I'm going on vacation, my other phone is on if you have an emergency. Otherwise, I'm shutting this thing off.
See, I never did that. I kept everything on one phone, my company phone.
Oh, yeah. No, my wife
had 2 phones for years, and people were like, why? And I'm like, that's why.
My wife has a separate phone for work,
18 years
too.
ago. And I remember the person saying to me, I don't know if I ever said this, but our CEO at the time saying, Matt, it's a flip phone, you're getting your first company phone, but you should get another phone privately because you don't want to be tied to this. I said, who cares? I won't even be on it. Now, it's fast forward almost 20 years.
Now you have it bolted to your face.
Exactly.
You're a techno
I'm a
pirate.
Cyclops.
Yeah. You're a Cyclops. See, you were right. You pretty good intuition.
Keep coming back to Cyclopses.
So I know you guys are not going to believe this. You haven't even looked at your watch, and I don't want to chase you out, but it is 10 to 10.
Wow, could you believe we've been talking for 4 hours already?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Did you watch my show and see my stick?
No.
No, that's my stick. People are shocked. I tell them it's been 2 hours. Like, what?
No, but I remember you saying that on the phone, too. We did a little pre-interview, and he said the same thing.
He front ran my shtick.
Right. Yeah, well.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna let you get a word.
that's what makes Matt go.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't front-running sticks.
That's why you never tell him anything you're going to talk about on the show before the show.
Or maybe that's been my shtick all along. Because that's what the singularity told me
Right,
to say.
exactly. Well, I knew it, right?
All right, so, well, anyway, I don't know if you guys want to wrap it up or if you want to keep going.
Mike, I leave it up to you. What do you think? I think we're good, right?
I think we're good,
2
yeah.
hours. It's a long time. For us, it's a long time.
Yeah.
Our shows usually are 45 minutes.
Right.
Well, we go about an hour.
Do we go about-
But we talk for longer than that.
Yeah, well, we edit it down.
Right.
We usually go an hour and 15.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would say probably around there. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes we've gotten onto
But this has
ridiculous
been great,
sessions,
though,
you know.
right?
But that's the same thing that happens. Like we get a rundown, or I'll make a rundown, and
Right.
you know, we'll talk about 2 or 3 things on it.
We'll find out soon if we're going to end now.
And then,
They're discussing it.
No, but
they're debating it.
I will tell you, though, this has gone very quick. It's been great.
No, it has been
I
great.
had a lot of fun.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
The only reason we do 3 hours is because they kick us out of here.
Right.
They said you're ridiculous.
Right.
I'm not going to edit this. I'm not going to do this damn show for more than 3 hours. Yeah, that's how Steve talks. No, it's not how he talks.
Yeah.
You know, he talks just like Bones from Star Trek. You know?
But this has been great. Mike, anything we missed on our end that we?
That's what I'm looking at now.
Yeah, keep going if you want.
Oh, of course.
I have questions.
Chrissy or Terry on Three's Company.
Oh yeah, Chrissy or Terry on Three's Company, and you have to know what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. So of course,
tell
I
you where
listen
the
to all
score
your
stands
shows.
after you answer.
You're gonna hate my answer. I didn't watch Three's Company.
Are you kidding me?
I totally.
This Mike off me. Jim, get out of here.
That's
Wait,
it.
wait. I'll give you a sub.
That's it. I'm out. I don't want to hear it. I watch. There's no sub. There's no sub. Sub.
Sub.
Get out of here. Subs are for Wawa.
What's the What's the sub?
The sub is Gilligan's Island, and the answer is Marianne.
Oh well, Marianne.
Yeah.
I'm Ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Marianne.
See?
I'm a Marianne
See?
guy, but she can't hold Chrissy's
See?
bra.
Yeah.
Now you guys can fight about Marianne and
No,
Ginger.
no, we're
See
gonna
what I
keep
did there?
going. All
I
right.
redirected.
How could? Come on, man. You can watch it anytime.
I
Will
watched
you
a
go
few
watch a
episodes.
few? All right.
I watched an episode after I listened to you guys, and I went.
There you go.
I watched the whole thing, and I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah, that's a lot of people feel that
Either
way.
one
Yeah.
is fine.
Oh no, we care a lot.
It's either one is fine.
Either one is
See, that's an excellent
Right,
point too. That's an excellent point too.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've heard that answer before.
But
So
we can't thank you enough. This has been terrific.
this has been great.
Yeah, no, it's been a blast,
Matt
man.
Santarpia,
Thank you very
It's been a
much.
blast. Thank you very
Monday.
much, man. We really
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
Everyday
much.
Nonsense Podcast. Go check
Thank you,
them out,
everyone.
and hopefully you guys will promote my show.
We're
and let
gonna
people
promote
Absolutely,
your
yeah,
show like
well,
crazy.
Right.
Just tell people. And
No,
then-
we want
No, next time we
Yeah.
will record, we will link to you
Yeah,
on there.
we'd
We
love
will
to.
mention
This
you.
has been a
You know,
pleasure.
And that way people
absolutely.
can come see you guys and talking about the singularity and cycle.
Yes. Now I'm a little nervous.
Right.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Matthew
Thank you,
Newell,
everyone.
Technocrat Live. See you in a couple of weeks. I'm going on vacation, so
Ah,
Not a
see
chance.
you in September.
And we're